Cedar Rapids Kernels, it's a good time roll.
Play ball! Are you ready to let the good times roll? Are you ready for Kernels baseball? The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, and the Class A affiliate of the Anaheim Angels welcome you to Cedar Rapids Kernels baseball. Now in his ninth season as the voice of the Kernels, here's John Rogers.
Independence Day and baseball. It doesn't get much better than that, and we've got a wonderful evening planned for you here on the Zone and here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. McDonald's is giving away 1,000 bats, red barrels, and white ash handles to the first 1,000 girls and boys 12 and under here on this late Sunday afternoon, the 4th of July. The Kernels about to kick off an 8-game homestand, and we'll have fireworks from downtown, the Freedom Festival fireworks that this big crowd can stay around and take in following our game here this evening. We have a chance on the 4th of July to take a different look at the side of baseball from the strength and conditioning side. Keith Volgamott is a graduate of Northern Iowa. Keith is in right field as he is before every home and away game, warming up, make sure the Kernels warm up properly, getting them loosened up for the action. And Keith Volgamott will lend his insights into why strength and conditioning has become so important in professional baseball as our dugout interview guest on this Independence Day. Keith joins us next on the dugout interview. This is Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Hey, man, what's up? Just getting ready to kick your butt. Right. And mess up your hair? You just wish you could look this good. Boo! Nothing but net. Hey, I'm a busy guy. I don't have time to make my hair look as good as yours. I mean, who has time to schedule an appointment, let alone show up for it? Not me. I just go to Cost Cutters. I can get in whenever it's convenient for me. Nice shot. Yeah. So you're telling me you just walk into Cost Cutters and come out looking good? Well, for some of us, that comes naturally. But Cost Cutters makes it easier. They can do anything you want. A cool cut, even some color, and get some of that styling gel stuff to keep you looking good. Like me. Oh, so that's why your hair never moves. Oh, you're funny. Cost Cutters. Thanks, man. This will save me some time. Great. Then you'll have time to work on your game. Oh, yeah, that's funny.
Are you a busy guy? Save yourself time and walk into one of our area's 12 Cost Cutters whenever it's convenient for you. Then relax, because Cost Cutters will make things easy and affordable for you.
Cost Cutters. Live your life. We always have time for your hair.
Prior to every Kernel road and home game, if you come into the ballpark before the first pitch, you often see the Kernels getting loose, getting ready down the right field line, and the fellow that leads them in that pregame routine all season long is Keith Volgamott. Keith is the strength and conditioning coach for the Kernels, and Keith, welcome to the dugout interview on this 4th of July. It's a very unique position you have at a very young age. I'd love for our listeners to know how you got this position. What prepared you to be the strength and conditioning coach for a professional baseball team?
The main thing I would say would be my experience last at collegiate level with the Northern Iowa Panthers. I was at for a year, worked with them in the off-season, prepared them with their strength and conditioning program, and then how I ended up here in Cedar Rapids was with head coach there, Rick Heller, knew the Anaheim guy, and gave him a call for me. I did a good job for him, recommended me, and luckily Anaheim took me aboard, and I've been here ever since, loving it.
You and I, of course, familiar to all of our fans in eastern Iowa. Keith, they have a terrific baseball program, and they have for a long time with Rick Heller as their coach, and that was a great area for you to learn, because that's a top collegiate program. Those guys are young and eager, so are our guys, but our season is a lot longer than a collegiate season, and that presents you with some challenges because you have to keep things fresh and invigorating, and also realize that these guys of ours are in their first full season, most of them playing 5.5, 6 months, 140 games. What is the overall premise of having a strength and conditioning coach for professional baseball players?
My overall premise is these two major things. On a yearly seasonal basis, it's basically injury prevention. You know, these players aren't any good to the league or to the Kernels if they're not playing. And the second priority that I have would be preparing them for the Major League Baseball season, to get them know the ways of what how to be professional about working out, how to approach the game for the professional or major league level at 160-game schedule. As we all know, it's a long haul. I'm learning that myself, and everyone. But these young kids, a lot of them are right out of college or even high school, and we got to prepare them for, like you said, 5-6 months of playing at the major league level. So that's what we're trying to get accomplished here, get the way set in stone so they know what to expect in 4, 5, 6 years when they get to the big league level.
During the season, Keith, what are some of the fundamental elements that you use to A, prevent injury, and B, give them a taste of what they're going to experience, hopefully when they make it to their goal of making it to the big league? What are some of the things that you do either on a daily or every other day or even once a week, some of the core exercises or conditioning techniques, stretching, speed work? Could you give us a sampling of what you're giving these guys?
For all the players, they're required to work out twice a week. It's a full-body workout, and in-season workout is totally different from off-season workout. It's black and white. This is more of a maintenance program to prevent weight loss and strength loss. So we require just the 2 days, which we will still get some fundamental benefit of working out, but yet they won't get fatigued and overtrained by end of June, early July, and they won't be any good to us. And then another part of injury prevention is the pregame stretch, all that routine, the BP, the throwing, all that will all help in injury prevention. If they don't do any of that, they're just on the sideline or on the bench, and they just go full bore into the game. It doesn't prepare their body at all, and what outcomes of it is a shock and usually an injury prevention or an injury itself, which could have been prevented.
You've done a great job, Keith, in keeping these guys invigorated, and I know that part of it is routine, and then you have to mix in some fun as well, and you can do that in a number of ways. The pitchers especially have to be taught and groomed into the importance of running, and some of them take to it, and others it's kind of drudgery to them. Why pitchers, and why is running so important to the pitchers?
The main thing that sets a pitcher apart from a position guy that is due to the running that we put them through is that their body is going at 100% full bore on an average of 17 seconds. Every 17 seconds they got to exert 100% of their maximal effort. And that's what even a starter is different from a relief guy. But a starter, we want him to go 6-7 innings. He's got to be conditioned to go 100% on an average of almost 3 times a minute, or what's that come out to about an hour and 20 minutes. So the body's got to be able to withstand that type of demand that pitching brings upon itself. And even with relievers, the amount of innings don't add up, but yet they still got to be able to exert, like I said, 100 amount of effort on the same amount of bases. So that's the main difference between them and the position guys, is why we require them to do so much better.
So they have to have a strong base, that is, their legs have to be strong, but they also have to be physically fit, cardiovascularly strong.
Correct. If they come in after the second inning winded and lightheaded, they're just fatigued. They're not physically conditioned to go the 5, 6, 7 innings that this game demands.
Keith Vogelmont is our dugout interview guest on this 4th of July. The Kernels opening an 8-game homestand, a special time this evening. The first 1,000 girls and boys 12 and under receive a regulation wooden baseball bat from Cedar Rapids and Marion McDonald. Then after the game, stick around and enjoy all the fun between the end of the game and the Freedom Festival fireworks, which will unfold from the skyline. You can watch them here from the grandstand. A final word with strength and conditioning coach Keith Vogelmont when we return on the dugout interview. This is Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Hi, this is Dave Town with Five Seasons Transportation and Parking. Do you ever wonder if it's safe to send your child on the bus? It is, and here's a few reasons why. All the buses in Cedar Rapids are equipped with security cameras, so the drivers always know what's happening behind them. The buses also have global positioning systems, or GPS, which means they can be tracked at any time by satellite. Does that surprise you? It shouldn't. Five Seasons Transportation takes safety very seriously, and we've taken many steps to make sure your child will have a safe, easy ride every time they take the bus. Even when your child isn't on the bus, Five Seasons Transportation is helping keep them safe by using pollution-free biodiesel and alcohol fuels, Iowa products that help keep the air clean. And if your child is ever in trouble, they can always flag down a bus for help. I'm Dave Town, and I like to think of the bus as a traveling safety cocoon, motoring along Cedar Rapids streets. And keep in mind, if the bus is that safe and easy for your child, maybe you should think about riding the bus to work. Affordable, convenient, and safe. That's the bus. Ride it.
Keith Volgamont, Kernels Strength and Conditioning Coach, has done a great job letting us know his role, and that is primarily to prevent injury and to teach the fellas the way of conditioning, strength, and staying up the top of their game for a marathon, a long, long season. And Keith, you have different ways of monitoring the progress of the guys. One, I suppose, would be scientific, where you're having them write down their workouts. Another is the art part of your job, where you have to glean feedback from them by talking to them.
That's very correct. Example, the scientific part is I do a weigh-in once every 2 weeks, so I can monitor physically that way. I talk to the guys. You know, how's your shoulder feeling? How's your elbow? How the legs? Are you heavy? I also monitor how often they play. You know, if you're an everyday player such as Brandon Wood, I got to adjust this program a little more differently than, let's say, a spot outfielder. Or another example, a lot of people don't even think about it, our bullpen catcher. You know, he does a lot of daily stuff that just goes unrecognized.
Hundreds of squats, for one thing.
That's correct. And then also part of it that I watch is just knowing that it doesn't get monotonous. I gotta change things up. I don't want them to know on Monday at 2:30 they're going to run 14 sprints at 35 yards. I got to try to make it fun. I try to do some different activities that incorporate the
conditioning.
Correct. I want to be able to get to my goal and have them enjoy it. And I've been able to incorporate some different stuff I picked up from you and I and from Anaheim that we throw in here. And I'm open to all these guys. They've done something in the past that if it works in my program, I'll gladly do it, because I know it gets very boring for them, and it does for me too. So I like to change it up.
Well, you've done a great job with these kids, Keith. I know that they've all benefited from your tremendous enthusiasm and your understanding that this is their first year in a whole long season of baseball. Finally, Keith, as far as future plans, I know you love reading about your area strength and conditioning. You love talking to other coaches. You mentioned listening to the athletes. What might be down the road for you?
There's usually two different options or pathways to my job: staying coaching or get into a clinical aspect or teaching. I don't know if I want to be a lab rat and do a whole bunch of scientific research that way, or if I want to stay in coaching and be alongside the athlete. Definitely being a coach has a benefit in my point of view of being along the athlete. So I think right now I'm going to have to lean towards I want to stay in coaching, and eventually I want to be a head strength conditioning coach at the D1 level, where I'm responsible for anywhere up to 15 to 20 Division I sports, and I have a lot of 5 or 6 assistants under me, and we all coordinate the correct program that way. Is what I really want to get to do, but you know, by the time I'm 30 or 35, that's what I want. That's what I'm shooting for right now.
Well, I have every confidence, Keith, that you'll reach that goal if that's what you aspire to. Keith Volgamont, thank you so much for giving us this inside look at what goes into getting these guys out there every day ready to play, and then, most importantly, making sure that they're recovered and strong enough to do it the very next day and night. Keith Volgamont, as a token of our appreciation for you joining us on this 4th of July, a $5 gift certificate redeemable at any of our area Zio Giano's Italian spaghetti houses. Perfect pasta, homemade bread, the best in Italian cuisine at any of our Zio Giano's. Keith, thank you so much.
Thank you, John. It's been my pleasure.
Keith Volgamont, our dugout interview guest on this 4th of July. The 5 o'clock start. Matt Moss and I will have this evening's starting lineups in a moment. This is Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
There is no better time than now to start your lasting garden with perennial plants from Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center. They are your perennial plant experts with the best selection and variety of quality plants tenderly cared for by Peck's. Talk over your gardening questions with Peck's knowledgeable staff and let them help you select the perennial plants that are perfect for your garden areas. They're on sale through Monday. Buy 3 perennial plants at the regular price. Get 1 free at equal or lesser value. Now is a great time to plant a perennial garden while you can take advantage of this special offer. Buy 3 perennial plants. Get 1 free at Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center. Peck's is open Saturday 8 to 5, closed the 4th of July, open Monday the 5th from 9 to 5. Pex, at the corner of Blair's Ferry and Edgewood Roads Northeast, growing with the Cedar Rapids area since 1956.
Truly special feeling in the air. A Sunday, Independence Day, a 5 o'clock start, and a terrific crowd. A big crowd to see the Kernels play the Clinton LumberKings for the first time since the month of April. We played them 8 times in the first month of the season, and our first look at them in the second half. They're sporting wonderfully sparkling new uniforms with green lettering and green caps with black bills. And this big crowd is ready to salute a color guard that is marching towards first base in just a moment. Let's go ahead and set this afternoon's starting lineups. Carlos Subero is the 32-year-old skipper in his second year with Clinton. Their record is 40-37 overall, 5-4 in the second half. They have a lot of new names in their lineup. Adam Barrasso. Barrasso will lead off in center field for the LumberKings. Their second baseman bats second, Micah Furtado. Furtado at second, bats second. Hitting third is Josh Cruiser. He's second in the league with 26 doubles. The big first baseman hits third. Jason Franz, a former Chicago Cub draft pick, will serve as the DH and bat cleanup this afternoon. Dane Bubella bats fifth in right field. Clinton's left fielder is Larry Grayson. Grayson will hit sixth in the LumberKing order. Casey Benjamin is at the hot corner. He'll bat seventh, followed by Cody Clark. Cody Clark will catch and bat eighth. And batting ninth, the shortstop for the LumberKings, Abigail Sandoval. On the hill is a lefty, and he's making his ninth start of the year. He started the season as a relief pitcher, worked 12 times out of the LumberKing bullpen. 23-year-old lefty Brian Mattoon from Lemoyne College. Mattoon, M-A-T-T-O-O-N, is a lefty with a record of 6-3 and a good ERA of 3.39. Brian Mattoon, a winner his last time out Monday in Lansing. He beat the Lugnuts, went 7 innings, allowed just 3 runs on 7 hits. Allen Motor Company now proud to present the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup. It's holiday weekend time, and your good friends at Allen Motor Company would like to remind you to drive safely and with caution. Holiday weekends can turn into tragedy if you're not cautious and aware of your surroundings. Allen Motor Company would like you to enjoy this special holiday with your family and friends, but please, please drive safely. The Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup presented by Kernel Broadcast Assistant Matt Moss.
Thank you, John. A few new faces in the Kernel starting lineup today. We got 2 players making their home debut. Leading off for the Kernels is Alexi Casilla, who was recently activated from the Mesa Angels in the Arizona Rookie League. He'll be playing at second base. Batting second is a center fielder, Felix Nunez, who was activated recently from Provo of the Pioneer League. He is also making his home debut here tonight. Batting third is a shortstop, Brandon Wood. Bobby Wilson, the catcher, is batting cleanup. Batting fifth at right field, Blake Balcom. Michael Collins is a designated hitter. He bats sixth. Matt Pauley batting seventh. He'll be at first base. Batting eighth is Matt Brown. He'll be at third base. And batting ninth is the left fielder, Quan Cosby. On the mound tonight for the Kernels, Nick Touchstone. Touchstone has a record of 3 wins and 3 losses, an ERA of 3.43. His last outing was a no decision in a 3-0 Kernel win last Tuesday at Quad Cities, where he went 7 innings, gave up 0 runs, 3 hits, fanned 9, and walked 2. And that is your Allen Motor Company starting lineup.
Matt Moss, thank you so much. It'll be wonderful to see those top 2, as you mentioned, Alexis Casilla and Felix Nunez making their home debuts here this afternoon. Our great friends at Anderson & Brown Eye Care, proud to present the Anderson & Brown Eye Care umpiring duo. This team of umpires has the focus on the goal of getting the calls right. That ability to focus an absolute necessity in our everyday lives. Anderson & Brown Eye Care can help make sure your eyes focus properly, just as well as these highly trained Hawkeyes of the umpires. Then that umpiring duo brought to you by Anderson & Brown Eye Care. Greg Tucker will be behind the plate, and his partner on the base paths, Corey Blosser. That is our Anderson & Brown Eye Care umpiring duo. The Kernels are in their white home uniforms with navy blue caps, red bills, red numbers trimmed in black. And the Kernels take the field. Their Cost Cutters Dream Team members are standing out there waiting for them. And the Cost Cutters Dream Team members positioned at every outpost on the diamond. And the Kernels will autograph their Cost Cutter Soft Toss baseballs and their Kernel logo Soft Toss baseballs as well. Right now, this very special occasion has Marcia Hughes. Marcia Hughes is going to sing the national anthem. First, this crowd, however, will stop for a moment to honor America as the colors are presented, and the color guard consisting of 7 veterans, and they are parallel to the first base line, just behind or just to the right of first base. They now turn to their right and face the Colonel right field bullpen, and now they are marching with a director. And, Matt, we actually know what color guard this is this afternoon on the 4th.
American Legion Hanford post number 5.
And they are marching now onto the grass between first base and the pitching mound. A huge crowd is on hand here this afternoon for this 4th of July. In fact, I'm leaning out of the broadcast window as the colors are presented to take a picture of this ballpark that is so beautifully filled this afternoon for this wondrous Independence Day holiday. Now the color guard is behind the pitching mound facing Nick Touchstone, and his Cost Cutters Dream Team companion Marcia Hughes will be introduced by Wendy's to sing the Star Spangled Banner.
And proud of our flag and all for which it stands. Please stand as Wendy's presents your national anthem.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America on this 4th of July, please join in the singing of our national anthem. It's being performed today by Marcia Hughes.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
What a sight it is here on the 4th of July, one of the great American traditions, our national pastime, baseball, and we have a crowd, I would think, Matt, of nearly 5,000 here on this 4th of July.
Yeah, a lot of people. Plaza section is packed. A lot of people on the grass. A lot of people on the concourse milling about.
The colors are being retired by the American Legion Hanford post number 5. We're going to be welcoming a very special young fella in the next couple of innings once Matt and I get settled in the saddle with you. Carter Chapman and his mother, Dana Bauman Chapman. Dana, a longtime season ticket holder from Aon Consulting. And I believe I'm correct as I turn around to say hello to Dana and Carter that when they were here last year, it was Mother's Day, and it was about 35 degrees with a wind chill of about 5 degrees. And Dana and Carter, isn't this great that this house is full for you? And Carter is so patriotic. He's wearing an Uncle Sam stovepipe cap, red, white, and blue. Carter will be joining us down the road a little bit later this evening, and we welcome he and his mom, Dana, to our broadcast booth on this wonderfully inspiring 4th of July late Sunday afternoon. Matt Moss, Colonel Broadcast Assistant, is alongside. I'm John Rogers, your play-by-play host. Our in-studio engineer is Deb Williams. 4th of July baseball, the first of an 8-game homestand, comes your way next. You're listening to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
The way we met, it's spaghetti. We would never forget Zio Giano's. Now it's where mi amore and I dine in. We carry out the lunch and the dinner all the time for lasagna, ravioli, mandacati, cannelloni, tortellini, or try their delicious salads and sub sandwiches too. Zio Giano's is the hometown taste of Italy. For your next meal with friends and a family, remember Zio Giano's with 5 convenient locations for the pasta that makes you sing.
Toyota Financial Services and the Kernels would like to thank the legions of parents throughout the community who are encouraging and helping their children to read this summer. The time and attention you spend supporting your child's reading effort means the world to them. Toyota Financial Services and the Kernels thank you for making a true difference in the welfare of your children. From helping them pick out their books to initialing their bookmarks and bringing them to the stadium to get their reading rewards, from Toyota Financial Services, you're the best.
Nick Touchstone on this beautiful Independence Day. A lefty, as Matt said, spun 7 shutout innings in his last start Tuesday night in Davenport. The Kernels went into the 9th inning 0-0 with the swing of the Quad Cities. Nick didn't come out with a decision in the Kernel 3-0 win, but boy, did he have one of his strongest efforts of the year. 7 innings, no runs, 3 hits, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks. Let's set the Kernels for you defensively as Adam Barassa, Bourassa, a pint-sized left-handed batter, will lead off here in the top of the first. Quan Cosby in left, Felix Nunez in center, Blake Balcom in right. The Kernel infield has Matt Brown at third, all-star Brandon Wood at short, Alexis Casilla at second, and Matt Pauley at first, a battery of the lefty Touchstone and Bobby Wilson. 82 degrees our game time temperature. The left-handed hitter backs away from a pitch inside. Adam Bourassa, 5'8", 170, 23 years old, from Wake Forest. That's an ACC school. The plate umpire Greg Tucker rules the next delivery low and in, and it's ball 2 to Bourassa. He is not a big guy. I don't even know if he's 5'8". He's a tough strike zone to hit. Nick does, though, with a pitch at the knees, strike 1. Bourassa in 29 games, hitting .273, no homers, 16 RBIs, a left-handed batter with good speed, 12 steals and 15 tries. And a fastball upstairs, it's 3-1 to Adam Bourassa. Clinton in their gray road uniforms with green numbers trimmed in silver. Strike 2 called. And a full count. Adam steps out, taps his spikes. He's 23 years old. He lives in the Minneapolis suburb of Apple Valley, Minnesota. The payoff from Nick. Corked on the ground to short. Backhanded by Wood, and Brandon's throw just in time. Adam Bourassa hit it hard, Matt Moss, and Brandon Wood had him played up the middle, so Brandon had to backhand that ball quickly on his backhand side.
Yeah, Bourassa made a good effort, almost beat out the throw, but Wood had him by just a step and a half.
Another newcomer, especially when you consider we haven't played the LumberKings since April, Micah Furtado. Furtado, also a very small in stature player, 5'7". He's from Hawaii. And a strike from the big Kernel lefty. Boy, Nick Touchstone is 6'5", 230, and these first 2 hitters, 5'8" and 5'7". Furtado went to Lewis Clark State in Idaho. A yellowhammer went right over his head. Micah Furtado, Furtado. A curve and a swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt. One ball, 2 strikes to Micah Furtado. And he takes a pitch in the dirt. The 2-2 to the left-handed batter. Look out, a curveball, and that one nipped him in the batting helmet. Wow, Nick Touchstone has really had trouble controlling that good pitch of his ordinarily, the yellowhammer, and Micah Furtado is the 7th batter that Nick Touchstone has struck on the year. A curveball got away from Nick, and Furtado, only 5'7", tried to duck underneath it, but it hit him, I think, Matt, on the top. It glanced his batting helmet. Now, you talk about Mutt and Jeff. Look who's at first base. Micah Furtado, 5'7", and look who just stepped in. 6'6", 240-pound Josh Cruiser. Swing and a miss.
Boy, quite a difference there.
Yeah, 5'7" fella on first base. And Josh Cruiser, a Midwest League All-Star, took a home run cut at a Nick Touchstone changeup, didn't get it. Cruiser has whacked 26 doubles this season. That's the second highest in the league. He fills the entire batter's box. Josh Cruiser, 6'6", 240, 21 years old, and he reminds me a lot of Dave Kingman. Cruiser with an open stance. An 0-1 pitch instead of throw to first, and the runner Furtado, 6 steals and 10 tries, is back standing up. Bright sunshine here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. A light breeze blowing out towards right center. 1 on, 1 out for the LumberKings here in their half of the first inning. A fastball missed just inside, according to the plate umpire Greg Tucker, and it's 1-1 to big Josh Cruiser from West Valley Junior College in California. He was a Texas Rangers 16th round pick 2 years ago. Cruiser hit 6 home runs in 55 games with Spokane last year. A number in front of the plate. Nick Touchstone is told by the catcher, Bobby Wilson, to whirl and throw the batter out at first. He did just that as Micah Furtado went to second. Matt, I think Bobby Wilson did a good job of letting Touchstone know that the safe play was the play at first base.
Right, if he wanted to kind of roll the dice, he might have thrown it to second, try to turn a 1-6-3 double play there, but Bobby Wilson went for the safe out.
Bobby, directing traffic from his catching position, told Nick Touchstone to throw to first, and down to second goes the batter who was hit, Micah Furtado. Here's right-handed hitter Jason Franz. He was an 8th-round pick of the Cubs in 2002 out of the University of Oklahoma, hitting .247 in 22 games. A breaking pitch low to Franz. Jason Franz has a batting approach much like Big Frank Thomas of the White Sox. That is, he stands straight up and down, no bend in his knees. He puts his feet close together like Big Frank, and then he essentially launches his arms and wrists into the pitch. He did just that and battered one off the mask of the plate umpire, Greg Tucker. Jason Franz looks like a baseball player, doesn't he, Matt, with those big, broad shoulders? Mm-hmm. Wears his gray trousers down near the tops of his shoes. Franz was traded by the Cubs to the Texas Rangers in a deal that sent Doug Glanville, of all people, to Chicago. Runner at second, 1 away, here in the top of the first inning.
Swinging that burgundy lacquer bat.
Yeah, it is. It looks almost rust-colored with gold lettering on it. Jason Franz. The runner goes. Touchstone steps off. Wild throw! Wild throw over the head of Matt Brown. 1-0 Clinton. Nick Touchstone stepped off the rubber and had the runner dead at third base, but threw it a good 20 feet over the head of Matt Brown. And a throwing error by Nick Touchstone makes it 1-0 in favor of Clinton. It'll be a stolen base for Micah Furtado. Boy, he'd have been out by 20 feet at third, but Nick Touchstone did something we saw a hurler in Peoria do that final series, the Kernels sweep of the Chiefs in Peoria a couple of weekends ago. A pitcher unfamiliar with making that throw to third threw it way over the Peoria third baseman's head, and that's what Nick Touchstone just did now. That ball was so high over Brown's head he didn't even jump for it. Strike 2 called to Jason Franz. Now a number foul to the third base dugout. Well, that's why, Matt, I'm always harping on the broadcast to run. Put runners in motion, and because a lot of times you'll cause the opposition to make a foul up like Nick Touchstone did.
Well, that ball almost went into the grass, our grass seating area.
Swing and a miss on a high fastball. Jason Franz fans. This big crowd on the 4th of July gives the Kernels and Nick Touchstone a huge hand. Nick walking back to the Kernel first base dugout, a bit upset at himself. 1 run in the first for Clinton on no hits, a hit batter, a stolen base, 1 Kernel error made by the pitcher, nobody left for the LumberKings. 4th of July, capacity house at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. After one half inning, the LumberKings lead the Kernels 1-0. And you're enjoying Kernel baseball on the Zone.
Most of us have been in a situation before in buying an automobile where what we owe is more than what our vehicle is worth. And sometimes it's thousands of dollars. There is a better way to put yourself in a better position when it comes to value, quality, and reliability. Put yourself into an industry-leading Honda automobile from Randy Keel Honda. The Odyssey minivan boasts being #1 in safety and the #1 minivan on the market for the last 5 years. The Honda Accord leads the way in safety and has made the Car and Driver's Top 10 list more than any other car in history. The Pilot topped the SUV categories in its first year out and remains a class leader. And the CR-V continues leading in its class since its arrival in 1997. The subcompact Element is so functional and practical, they're selling as fast as they arrive. So doesn't it make sense to get the best value in the market at Randy Keel Honda? Great folks to deal with, too, and #1 when it comes to getting you the best price. The home of confidence is Randy Keel Honda, Centerpoint Road, or on the web at randykeel.com.
Many of the products we use in our homes still come in glass containers. So what should you do with them when they're empty? Recycle them, of course. Your friends at Solid Waste and Recycling offer these helpful reminders. First, clean and rinse the empty bottles and jars and put the lids in your blue recycling box. Then place the bottles and jars in a rigid container like a small plastic waste basket or bucket and set it next to the recycling box for curbside collection. Save landfill space. Recycle your empty glass containers.
An unearned run for the LumberKings in the top of the first, and before the Kernels bat, Matt, let's get started on that tradition of afternoon baseball on the 4th of July.
Well, our look at the State Farm Major League Scoreboard is brought to you by State Farm Insurance agents Dale Thompson, Lanny Peterson, Al Shetler, and Gary Schubad. Interleague action continued today, a lot of finals and a lot of day games. At Turner Field, the Braves beat the Red Sox 10-4. At Shea Stadium, the Mets upended the Yankees 6-5. In 11 innings, the Reds beat the in 11 innings, the Reds beat the Indians 5-4. The Phillies beat the Orioles 5-2. At Olympic Stadium, the Expos beat the Blue Jays 6-4. Pittsburgh defeated the Brewers 6-2. Texas smashed the Astros 18-3. That game was at Minute Maid Park. At Busch Stadium, the Cardinals held on to beat the Mariners 2-1. And that is our complete look at the finals. At Coors Field, the Rockies lead the Tigers 10-8 in the top of the 8th inning. And at Pro Player Stadium, the Marlins are working on a shutout against the Devil Rays 4-0 in the top of the 7th inning.
And, of course, tonight the game will join in progress, the White Sox and Cubs. Brian Mattoon with a unique delivery. We'll describe it as we go along here. The lefty misses outside to Alexi Casilla, making his Kernel home debut. He played last night in Appleton, a strike from Mattoon. Brian Mattoon has a bent elbow delivery, and you don't see that as much anymore in professional baseball as you used to. Swing and a miss on a changeup, and Casilla's momentum carried him all the way across the plate. Alexis is just 19 years old, and he's from the Dominican Republic. He's a switch hitter batting right. Hit .298 in the Dominican Summer League a year ago. And he tips one foul to stay alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nick Touchstone not hurt himself physically, but damaged his own cause as he hit a batter in the first inning. That batter advanced to second on a little tap in front of the plate, stole third, and scored. Strike 3 called on a wild throw by Nick Touchstone over the head of Matt Brown. Alexis Castillo has gone on strikes looking as Brian Mattoon snuck in a changeup to him. Mattoon has been very good for Clinton. 12 relief appearances, now his 9th start. 6-3 his record. He's only given up 64 hits in 66 in the 3rd inning. Struck out 38, walked only 8 men, so his biggest strength is his control. A strike on the outside edge to Felix Nunez. Felix playing in his 3rd game as a Kernel. Looks at one just high. Nunez is from Venezuela, 21 years old, and he's playing center field this afternoon. The LumberKings and Kernels in the first of 4. Ball 2 sails way outside to Felix Nunez. Brian Mattoon reminds you a little bit. he's half the age of Jamie Moyer. Well, Jamie's not 46. Jamie's, I think, 40 or 41. Spanking one foul up onto the Miller mezzanine terrace for strike two is Nunez. And, Matt, you told us how full those picnic areas are. We'll salute those groups up on the Miller mezzanine terrace.
Marian Christian Church on the Miller mezzanine terrace this afternoon. And on the
a pitch rattle to the shortstop. A big charity hop for Sandoval, and out is Felix Nunez. 2 gone on the Colonel first inning for Brandon Wood.
Out on the Randy Keel Hoppinance Picnic Pavilion, American Family Insurance, National Association of Letter Carriers, and Eastern Iowa Fringe Benefits.
And that left field Randy Keel Hoppinance Picnic Pavilion is full of fun-loving folks on this 4th of July. 2 away for Brandon Wood, right-handed hitting Colonel shortstop. 1-0 LumberKings here in the bottom of the first, rather. A strike on the outside edge from the lefty Mattoon to Brandon, who's hitting .285. Strike 2 called. Mattoon takes about 7 to 8 seconds between pitches. He's from Lemoyne College in the state of New York. Ooh, a pitch just missed. The Lumber King infield was taking 2 steps towards their third base dugout. I thought Wood was gone on 3 pitches. Brian Mattoon is an off-speed artist. A shot into right, a base hit for Brandon Wood. That's going to be the key for the Colonels, is our right-handed late-in hitting lineup is going to have to go the other way like Brandon Wood just did. A good friend of Dana Bauman-Chapman, Jack Rader. And Jack is beaming from ear to ear, as he should be, because we have, as Matt and I suggested, probably nearly 5,000 people here for the 4th of July. Bobby Wilson bats with 1 on 2 out here in the bottom of the first inning. And a changeup drops in for a strike. 69 miles an hour, according to the McDonald's speed pitch indicator in right center, below the Rockwell Collins game link. The breeze is blowing out. The flag above the 403 mark in right center, indicating that the breeze is blowing out towards right center. Wood not running, and a change in the dirt now. Brandon goes. The throw to second late. Brandon Wood will be not credited with the stolen base. It'll be ruled a wild pitch by Mattoon. The catcher, Cody Clark, found the handle, but too late. His throw to second was not in time to get Brandon Wood, who will not be credited with the stolen base. It's going to be ruled a wild pitch on the hurler, Brian Mattoon.
But as you were saying, John, force them base runners to run and try to throw a wrench in the plan of the fielders.
A one-hopper to third, fielding it at his ankle tops and throwing low. Safe. Brandon Wood stops at third. Brandon Wood stops at third. I thought he might try to score. That error is on Casey Benjamin. Brandon Wood stops at third. Bobby Wilson should have been thrown out to end the inning, but he's at first for Blake Balcom. That throw by Casey Benjamin handcuffed big 6'6" Josh Cruiser. Cruiser, Matt, never had full control of it.
No, it looked like he almost did, but then it popped right out of his glove. And
Matt, were you surprised Wood didn't just keep running around third with that long throw by the third baseman?
I don't know. I thought he could have made him. I'm wondering if Bobby Magallanes told him to hold up.
Or if he put on the brakes on his own volition. It doesn't matter now. First and third, 2 gone. For Blake Balcom, a .274 hitter, was in the starting lineup last night, and an off-speed delivery to strike at the knees to Blake Balcom. Blake in the lineup last night in Appleton for the suspended game, suspended by rain, playing for the first time last night since June 24th with that sore right shoulder. Blake is the designated, or is the right fielder. He's the right fielder this afternoon. A shot into center, way back. It's going to get over the head of Broussara and to the wall. 2 runs are going to score. Brandon Wood home from third. Bobby Wilson loping home from first base. 2-1 Kernels. Blake Balcom hit a rocket over the head of Adam Barraza. Adam Barraza had that rocket sail over his head for a 2-run double. And welcome back, not Cotter, welcome back Blake Balcom. WBBB. Welcome back, Blake Balcom.
Yeah, Johnny, you were just saying that you're going to have those right-handed hitters deep in the order to go the distance for the Kernels, and that's exactly what they're doing right now.
Boy, Adam Barassa in center turned, and before he could take a couple of steps towards the 400-foot mark, that ball was over his head for a 2-run double, and it's 2-1 Kernels. Wood scoring from third, and Bobby Wilson, who reached on the throwing error by the third baseman, rounded third and came sauntering home to make it 2-1. Michael Collins takes a pitch low for ball one. Now a strike at the knees to Michael Collins. So each club makes an error here on the 4th of July in the first inning, and it costs each club runs. In fact, it cost the LumberKings 2 runs. The throwing error, his 5th of the year by Casey Benjamin, the third baseman. Collins, a big right-handed batter, lifts one foul onto the Miller mezzanine terrace above the Colonel first base dugout. Blake Balcom drilling one over the head of the center fielder to score a pair here in the bottom of the first inning on a beautiful 4th of July afternoon, soon to be evening. The shadows cast by the grandstand roof are creeping right out toward home plate now, where Michael Collins is standing half in shadows and half in sun. The lefty's 1-2 delivery. Corked on the ground, a deep short, base hit. Here comes Balcom. The throw home, not made. The left fielder Grayson bobbles the ball. And it's 3-1 Kernels on a ground ball single. Deep in the hole, Abigail Sandoval tried to backhand it. Couldn't. It went into left field, and Blake Balcom was waved home frantically by third base coach and manager Bobby Magallanes to make it 3-0. Michael Collins in the hole, 1 and 2. Grounded one sharply deep in the hole, and I thought for a moment, Matt, that the shortstop Sandoval might get a glove on it.
I thought he was going to get it. Squeaked right past him. Squeaked right under his glove.
To make it 3-1. Matt Pauley is at the plate, left-handed hitter with a .273 average. Strike one called by the southpaw on the outside corner. Remember, Brian Mattoon should be out of this inning, but a throwing error by his third baseman, and the Kernels have cashed in big time. Pauley hitting .273. Takes another pitch for a strike on the outside corner. 3-1 Kernels here in the bottom of the first inning. Sun shining brilliantly. Big crowd here this afternoon and this evening. And that has lifted the Kernels to a big first inning. Swing and a miss by Matt Pauley. A late swing, and the lefty strikes out left-handed batter Matt Pauley on 3 pitches. Listen to the hands for the Kernels. The Kernels strike for 3 runs on 3 base hits, 1 critical, costly error by the LumberKings, and the Kernels leave 1 man on. 4th of July, and the atmosphere is special here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. We go to the second. Kernels 3, LumberKings 1. You're listening to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I won't argue that Phil Jackson of the Lakers is a good coach. On record alone, he's worthy of acknowledgement among the coaching elite. Let me ask you, how much is Phil Jackson and how much is MJ and Pip and Shaq and the Coaster? You know, Pat Riley, you may recall, was a genius too when he coached Magic. Apparently, Pat Riley with Eddie Jones lost about 94 points on his IQ. I would maintain there's a fine line between eccentric genius and bizarre weirdo. To my point, Phil Jackson can coach. I'm not disputing that. Let's save the guru Svengali genius label for science and math nerds. It's the NBA. Players win games. Phil Jackson has had the best players. He's not reinventing the wheel here, okay? You take away Shaq and replace him with Dwayne Shinsius, and Jackson's battling the Warriors for last in the West. Let's not kid ourselves.
Don't be left out of the herd. Only on ESPN Radio.
Is Tim Kirkchin a metrosexual? Have you ever waxed your body hair?
Absolutely not.
Do you moisturize daily?
No.
Has a gay man ever hit on you?
Yes.
Did you like it? Tim Kirkchin's grade. Golick was an 8. I was a 29. Your score is a 10, which means you are a possible future metrosexual.
Closer to Golick.
Can I tell you what you were 1 point away from in the 0 through 9 point range? The first line would have been stud. You're a manly man.
Mike in the morning on ESPN Radio.
Stone's first pitch is taken in the dirt, ball 1 to the number 5 hitter, Dane Bubella. Dane hitting .266, a left-handed batter facing the 6'5" lefty, and a good bunt Should be a base hit. Nick Touchstone does the wise thing and cocks his arm back but holds on to it. You just, in that case, Matt Moss, it reminds you how effective, A, the element of surprise can be, and B, a good bunt can be.
Oh, that was a really good bunt. It just kind of rolled about 15 feet there down the baseline. The ball just died and stopped moving, and Touchstone had to come all the way from the hill, and by the time he got to it, Bubella was 3 steps from the bag.
Dane reaches on that bunt single that Matt described, and with the Kernels up 3-1 here in the second, right-handed hitting Larry Grayson stands in, and he shoots the first pitch high, foul off to the right. Matt, with the Cubs and White Sox playing this evening at Wrigley Field, I can't imagine their atmosphere being any more patriotic than the one we see here. Case in point, a couple of moms down below in the premier seats, and their little girls appear to be twins, red, white, and blue tops, and then red, white, and blue ribbons in their hair. I hope our guest Dana Bauman-Chapman can see those little girls. They're in the second row in the premier seats, and they're sitting on their mommy's laps right now. Matt,
I see them now, John.
Isn't that something to have that kind of patriotism?
Well, I was seeing these fans down here about 10 rows up there with the red, white, and blue glitter stuff in their hair.
Yes, there's a lot of red, white, and blue here this afternoon. An 0-2 pitch inside to Larry Grayson. Grayson, a right-handed batter at the plate with nobody out, one on. Top of the second, 3-1 Kernels. Those moms went through a lot of effort to put those red, white, and blue ribbons in their girls' hairs and those red, white, and blue tank tops. Grayson grounds one foul past third. Matt, each year I have to share the story of the tradition in our neighborhood in Alton, Illinois, as Ron Klein gets his Independence Day work done. Now, Rhodey, the key today is to toss that ball. Look at those kids in the third base grass seats, Rhodey. You got to give them that ball today, bud. You don't hold on to it. There you go, Rhodey. That's the man with the big heart we all know, Ron Klein. Sometimes Rhodey's a bit stingy with that $7.50 baseball. And with that grass area full, he did the right thing, Matt.
We're glad to see the Roadrunner have a big heart today on this 4th of July.
It's still 1-2 to Larry Grayson. His 6'5" lefty Nick Touchstone comes set below the belt and brings it. Swing and a miss. A throw to first. Runner is safe. Ooh, the crowd, and Matt and I thought he was out at first base. Dane Bubella just got it back in hand first as Larry Grayson struck out swinging on a good changeup from Touchstone, and the crowd wanted the call from Corey Blosser, the base umpire, but apparently Bubella just got back in time.
It looked like the throw was on time. Maybe they just missed. I'm thinking maybe he just missed the tag there. Maybe Paulie just missed on this tag. I'm not really sure. That was close.
The throw is by Bobby Wilson. Now left-handed hitting Casey Benjamin bats for the first time out of Tennessee Tech. A throw to first. Bubella with 2 steals and 4 tries. Back standing up. The tradition in our neighborhood on the 4th of July in Alton, Illinois was to go over to a neighbor's house, all the kids in the neighborhood. We'd have lemon. There goes the runner. A pitch, a ball, and no throw by Bobby Wilson. That steal was off lefty Nick Touchstone as Dane Bubella swipes his third base of the year. The pitch was low, ball 1 to Casey Benjamin, the left-handed batter. We would go over to our neighbor's house, and back then you had record players. You didn't have CDs or cassettes or even 8-tracks when I was growing up. You had a record player, and he'd play a patriotic record with the Pledge of Allegiance and the Battle Hymn of the Republic and the Star-Spangled Banner and a speech by President Kennedy. And then all the kids would spend the week before the 4th of July buying crepe paper at a local party or decorating store. Matt, are you familiar what crepe paper is?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you buy it in rolls or strips of multicolors. Of course, we got red, white, and blue. Look out, a pitch drilled foul over near the kids' area on the concourse, and we'd run that crepe paper roll through our bicycle spokes and our frames and our handles. In other words, we'd decorate our bikes up with crepe paper in red, white, and blue. We'd tape flags onto the handlebars. Ooh, a pitch just inside. It's 3-1 now, the left-handed batter. Benjamin hitting 171. No homers, 6 RBIs. Then we would have a parade in the neighborhood on the street. We wouldn't call the police or shut down the streets. Cars would just see us and stop for a few minutes and let the kids have their parade on their bicycles, tricycles, scooters. Ball 4 downstairs. Nick Touchstone will face Cody Clark with the tying runs on, and only one out here in the second inning. And the parade would last what would seem like a long, long time to little kids, but it only lasted about a half hour. We went around about 4 or 5 streets in the neighborhood. The older kids, by older, junior high kids, they would bring their instruments, their trombones, their tubas, their trumpets, their drums, and they would play in front of the kids on their bikes, trikes, and scooters. A ground ball a bad hop over the head of Brown, and racing around third and scoring. Kwan's throw home is way offline. Wilson throws to second. The batter out at second for the second out of the inning. Dane Bubella scored on a bad hop single over the head of Matt Brown by Cody Clark. It's 3-2. A base hit for Cody Clark that should have been a double play. And we've had so many games on this field the last month that Jesse Rader does the best he can to keep that lip clean and sharp. But that was a bad hop single over the head of Matt Brown. Casey Benjamin went to third. He's the tying run. Out at second, the man who drove in the run, Cody Clark. He's out 7-2-4. Kwan to Wilson, the catcher, to Casilla, the second baseman. A squeeze, and this should tie the game. It does tie the game. A 2-out squeeze by the number 9 hitter, Abigail Sandoval. And I love that kind of baseball. Even though it ties the game 3-3, what a great piece of execution. The element of surprise again. Abigail Sandoval, the second bunt single of this inning, ties the game 3-3. Casey Benjamin on a suicide squeeze broke home, and the number 9 hitter drove him in with a perfectly executed squeeze. It's a thing of beauty to see 3 fielders going for the ball and nobody covering first base, and that's what burned the Kernels. Now a chopper to Matt Pauley. He makes a good play on the grass and steps on the bag to end the inning. Adam Barassa ends the 2-run second inning. The Kernels unable to hold a lead very long at all due to a couple of great bunts by the LumberKings. 2 runs for Clinton in the second inning. On 3 hits, 2 of them were bunt singles, a walk, a stolen base, no Kernel errors, 1 stranded by the visitors. Let me finish up my long-winded but sentimental story. The parade would then end, and we'd have watermelon lemonade. And I don't know if they do that in neighborhoods anymore, Matt Moss, but as a kid, you never forget that type of patriotism. Now we go to the bottom of the second inning, a wild one, Kernels 3, Clinton 3. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Multitasking is today's buzzword. We're parents, employees, board members, spouses, caregivers. The list goes on. Your local Pekin Insurance Agency, Sheets Forest Draper Insurance in Marion, is great at multitasking too. Sheets Forest Draper will find the right insurance coverages for you. See Scott Draper of Sheets Forest Draper for coverages on your home, auto, life, health, and business. Finding the right insurance is one less task for you to do when you depend on your hometown professionals with Pekin Insurance.
Solo Mexico, her voice soars above a sweet Spanish guitar. And in the head like Dr. Pepper, originality made her a star. The taste of Dr. Pepper, the taste of originality, the roots individuality, and gives life a personality. Be you, do what you do. Be you, standing firm, Dr. And then you find a stage, a child came of age with a song of passion from the heart, and everyone could tell Anna Gabrielle was an original from the start. The taste of Dr. Pepper, the taste of originality, the roots individuality, and gives life a personality. Be you, do what you do. Be you, nothing better, Dr. Pepper. Be you, do what you do. Be you, nothing better, Dr. Pepper.
Of surprise and 2 beautiful bunts to tie the game in the top of the second inning. We're in the bottom of the second, and Brian Mattoon drops the changeup in on the outside edge to Matt Brown. Brownie struggling in the second half, batting 8th in the Allen Motor Company order, still leads the Kernels with 16 homers, 52 runs driven in. We're tied at 3. Ball one, and Matt Brown had to shuffle his feet to avoid being hit. Brownie with a .229 average steps out. He's using a white ash bat, a pair of red and white batting gloves, and facing 6'3" lefty Brian Mattoon, whose changeup misses just outside for ball two. Mattoon spells his name just like the city in Illinois, Mattoon, Illinois, M-A-T-T-O-O-N. Strike two called on a let-up, and Matt Brown backs out of the box again. Our Culver small fry is going to take the field after this Kernel second inning, and we'll be able to interview him about it a little bit later this afternoon. Matt Brown waits on a curveball and literally pushes it foul into the plaza section. Matt, that swing looked like a slow-motion swing by Matt Brown.
Yeah, very slow. That ball didn't even have a lot of velocity, just kind of lofted lazily into the plaza section.
It looked like a feather dropping out of a pillowcase. But Matt spoiled a good 2-2 pitch from the Clinton southpaw. And he ropes one foul over to the right again to remain even on the count 2-2. The Kernels fell behind 1-0 in the top of the first on a throwing error by starter Nick Touchstone. Then got RBIs from Blake Balcom and Michael Collins to take the lead 3-1 after one. Clinton tied it in the top of this second inning. Matt Brown fouls one back again. Mattoon is one of those hurlers that if you're at this ball game, you want to take one of those red-barreled McDonald's baseball bats that were presented to the first 1,000 kids 12 and under, being signed down below by Mr. Shucks, as a matter of fact, as we speak. You want to go up there and hit against him because you say, I can hit this guy. He doesn't throw hard. Matt Brown wallops one foul off the wall of the Clinton left field bullpen, and it's still 2-2 to the Kernel All-Star third baseman, Matt Brown. Here in the bottom of the second on the 4th of July, we're tied 3-3.
Yeah, but Johnny's got a lot of off-speed pitches, and he, like you said earlier, he's got a lot of control. He's throwing a lot of strikes here.
That's right, and he's only walked 8 men in 66 1/3. I'm not saying at all he would be easy to hit. We're just saying that he looks easy to hit because he doesn't throw hard, but he throws he pitches. That's the key. He pitches very effectively. Brown fouls another 2-2 pitch off to the right. Channel 9 is here covering the game as usual with their handheld camera down below. Matt Brown fells himself, took a huge cut, and he's down on his rump right in front of home plate as he felled himself like a giant sequoia tree, bashing one off his instep. Matt is okay, though. Boy, he has fouled off at least half a dozen two-strike pitches from lefty Brian Mattoon. Mattoon reminds me a lot of a former Kernel lefty from 2 years ago. Todd Klaus loved him. Lefty Jamie Stewart. Jamie Stewart, also from Lemoyne College, also a very crafty, soft-tossing lefty who was released by the Angels. I hope Jamie is still in professional baseball. Yet another 2-2 delivery. Yet another foul. This one away to the right.
Well, we're seeing a war of attrition here, John.
A war of attrition and a lot of lifetime honorary Kernel contracts and free spaghetti dinners to Zio Gianos for those fans that get the foul ball. The entire Kernel bench is standing on a bench behind the railing of the first base dugout. A curve, and that one's ripped foul into the left field.
Right off the tarp there. That one ricocheted off the tarp into left field.
They're focusing on a fella in one of the luxury suites. I'm not sure if he's a dignitary or a celebrity. Now his picture is not on the Rockwell Collins game link. I wondered who that might have been, but the folks from Metro took his picture off before I could get a good look. Matt Brown finally bows to the lefty as he pops one lazily in the air for right fielder Dane Bubella. Dane one-hands it. Well, quite a battle, as Matt said, between Matt Brown, the Kernel All-Star, and lefty Brian Mattoon. Matt finally flew out to right for the first out here in the Kernel second inning. Mr. Shucks is down below, and a little fella without a shirt on. Not sure why his parents are letting him go parade around this ballpark without his shirt on, but he's clapping for Mr. Shucks, and Mr. Shucks is giving him an autograph on one of his McDonald's baseball bats. Ball one outside to Quan Cosby. One away in the Kernel second, 3-3 the score. Boy, are we glad you're with us here on the 4th of July.
We're starting to see a little cloud cover, John.
We don't like that. Strike one to Quan, a switch hitter batting right. Cosby's hitting .248. 2 homers, 21 RBIs for Quan. And he's batting ninth in the Allen Motor Company order on this holiday. He tomahawked one foul straight back. Quan in the hole, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Huge crowd here on the 4th, and most of them will stay around to watch the Freedom Festival fireworks unfold from the safety and comfort of this grandstand. Boy, Mr. Shucks is a popular guy down below. Quan swings at a pitch in on his hand, strike 3. And that's the 3rd strikeout already for the lefty, Brian Mattoon. It's fun watching a guy who has so much pride in his profession as Brian Mattoon does. As Matt noted, he's changed his speed so effectively. Every pitch has a purpose. And basically what he tries to do is he tries to let you get yourself out. He sets traps for you. A swing and a tip foul by Alexis Casilla, strike 1. Alexis struck out looking to start the 1st for the Kernels. We're in the bottom of the 2nd, all tied at 3.
Now, John, you mentioned that Mattoon is a bent elbow pitcher. What I see is that when he brings his arm back for delivery, he has a little bit more angle.
Yes. A bouncer to big Josh Cruiser. Cruiser will cruise, that is, lumber to the base and beat Alexis Casilla. Boy, is it fun watching Brian Mattoon pitch, because he really keeps you off stride and can make you look very, very, very foolish. Alexis Casilla bounces out to 1st, and the Kernels go in order in the home half of the 2nd. Our Culver small fry guest Carter Chapman's going to get the thrill of his early summer by taking the field with Mr. Shucks. Now, wait a minute. Is that Carter Chapman? Yes, that is Carter. He just has his Culver's cap on instead of his Uncle Sam stovepipe cap. We go to the 3rd inning. It's the Kernels and LumberKings tied at 3. This is Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Been looking to buy a used car, truck, or van? If so, head to Select Auto now. All vehicles are priced to sell with bottom line pricing. Monthly bills getting you down? Can't afford the car of your dreams? No problem. Select Auto offers payment plans to fit around your budget. Select Auto also offers great warranties on all cars, not to mention their experienced and friendly staff in their full-service service department. Hate being chased around the lot by those annoying salespeople? At Select Auto, you won't be bothered by any salespeople. You deal directly with the owners. Got bad credit? Not a problem. They offer financing for any credit, good or bad. Still not sold? Purchase any used car over $5,000 and get $200 in free gas. Hurry in. This deal only lasts during the month of May. What are you waiting for? Visit either of Select Auto's 2 convenient locations on 1st Avenue downtown Cedar Rapids or on 7th Avenue in Marion. Select Auto, a great way to buy a pre-owned car.
The Crown Plaza 5 Seasons is Cedar Rapids' exclusive downtown hotel. Make plans to experience a spectacular view from the top of the 5 restaurant. Start your day off with us for breakfast, or make a lasting impression on your business associates by treating them to our signature lunch buffet that changes daily. For any occasion, enjoy an elegant dinner or the Eddie Picard Jazz Trio in the city's only rooftop restaurant. The Crown Plaza 5 Seasons, top of the 5.
Ball 1 sails inside to the 5'7" second baseman, Micah Furtado, to open the 3rd. We're tied at 3. Nick Touchstone working quickly. Misses high. Ball 2. Furtado hit by a pitch and scored on a Nick Touchstone throwing error in the 1st inning. It's ironic, Matt Moss, as we start the 3rd inning on the 4th of July, that this is the first game in a month that we've seen the flag in right center at its regular height.
Yeah, Old Glory out there at the 403 mark is at full staff for the first time since the passing of former President Ronald Reagan.
Nick's 2-1. Hit the batter for the 2nd time. Furtado flings his bat towards the 3rd base dugout, and Nick Touchstone has a few choice words back at him. That was a curveball, and he made no effort to get out of the way. And now Bobby Magallanes is making that exact point, Matt. Did you see it like I did, that Furtado made no effort? In fact, Bobby saying that he threw his arm out at the pitch.
Well,
looks like Bobby lost the argument fairly quickly. Furtado with a go-ahead run at first with nobody out was hit by a curveball. Now the giant 6'6", 245-pound Josh Cruiser, Kreuzer, bats. Cruiser hitting .282, 7 homers, 44 driven in. A strike from Nick Touchstone at the knees of fastball. Lots of red, white, and blue in the stands today. Mr. Shuck still giving autographs to all the youngsters who have been given those wooden regulation-sized Little League bats from Cedar Rapids and Marion McDonald. We're going to check Halo happenings for you here in this Clinton third inning. Carter Chapman, our guest, will be joining us in the fourth inning. The 0-1 instead of throw to first, the runner back.
Halo happenings. Here's a look at Saturday's results from around the Anaheim Angels organization. In the big leagues, the Angels fell to the Dodgers 8-5. Former Colonel Ramon Ortiz pitched 5 innings of one-hit ball and allowed 1 run in relief of the starter Bartolo Colon.
A double play ball to Brown. Throw to second, out. Casilla's throw to first in the dirt, but out! Matt Pauley dug it out. Matt Pauley dug out a one-hop peg from second baseman Alexis Casilla, and the Colonel's turn, and around the horn, double play. And Josh Cruiser hit into it.
And Micah Furtado tried to break that up by sliding in, and he caused Brandon Wood Alexis Casilla to slip and fall, but he still got that throw off in time.
And Matt Pauley dug it out to complete the double play. Here's Jason Franz, Fransd, a strike on a changeup from the big Colonel lefty. Well, doggone it, the Angels lost in the Freeway Series yesterday.
In AAA ball, the Salt Lake City Stingers were idle, did not play. However, Casey Kochman, former Colonel, is batting .314 with 2 homers and 15 RBIs in his last 18 games.
The 0-2 to Franz is high from Nick Touchstone.
Former Colonel Dallas McPherson is batting .343 with 5 homers and 10 RBIs in 10 games. And former Colonel Jake Woods is 1-1 with a 7.20 ERA in 2 starts.
Franz takes a curve low. It's 2-2.
In AA action, the Arkansas Travelers fell 4-3 to San Antonio. Former Colonel Jeff Mathis doubled home, 1 run, doubled home, hit a double, and for an RBI.
A deep drive over the head of the center fielder Nunez off the top of the wall, and Jason Franz is trying for second, and he makes it standing up. Jason Franz bashed one over the head of Felix Nunez. It almost climbed out of here 400 feet away, and the LumberKings have the go-ahead run at second with 2 away here in the third inning. Jason Franz with his 6th double in this his 23rd game with Clinton.
Let me try to spit this out again, John. Jeff Mathis hit an RBI double, and former Colonel Mike Ilward singled home 2 more in Arkansas's 3-run first inning in the losing effort.
That's fine, Matt. Dane Bubella now with a chance to give Clinton the lead. They took the lead in the first inning 1-0. We're tied in the top of the third 3-3. A knee-buckling curve from Touchstone is a strike.
In single-A action, the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes defeated Inland Empire 11-3. Boy, where's that team at? Inland Empire.
We'll ask Mike Kuhlbeck. It had a more common name a couple of years ago. I think Stockton, California. Another curve, and this one just missed to the left-handed batter Bubella. 1-1 to Dane.
Former Colonels Eric Ibar and Jared Abruzzo each had 2 hits and 3 RBIs. Former Colonel Joe Saunders allowed 4 hits and 3 runs in 6 innings.
Bubella bounces one to deep short. Shuffling over is Brandon Wood, and his throw is in time, and Nick Touchstone pitches around a 2-out double and gets Dane Bubella to ground to Brandon Wood, the shortstop. Matt will give us what happened in Provo when we return. In the third inning, no runs for Clinton, a hit batter, a double play, 1 hit. There were no Colonel errors. The LumberKings strand a runner, their second left of this holiday. After 2.5 before a jam-packed house here on the 4th of July at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium, the Colonels 3 and Clinton 3. You're tuned to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
Who cares what's in a hot dog? This country was built on the principle that wretched refuse could be made great. So when the tofu-obsessed among us ask what the hot dog is made of, well, the High Life man turns the question back on the questioner. You, sir, what are you made of? What spice do you add to the national knockwurst? No, you do not ask of the hot dog. The hot dog asks of you. Are you man enough to live the high life? Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, USA.
Whether you're a serious athlete or a weekend warrior, injuries can take you out of your game. Smart athletes know that Physiotherapy Associates in Cedar Rapids are the experts in the treatment and prevention of sport-related injuries. Our expert staff serves the metro and surrounding area high school athletes. Physiotherapy Associates in Cedar Rapids, the smart choice in sports medicine. Call us at 398-1569. That's 398-1569. We'll get you back in your game today.
Hey, how was the trip?
Great. Thanks for getting my mail.
Anytime.
Wait, where's my new copy of ESPN the magazine and my free messenger bag?
I don't know. Gotta run.
Hey, is that my bag hanging on your chair?
No.
The hottest magazine out there is offering the coolest deal. Just call 1-877-ESPN-MAG today and get 26 issues for just $1 an issue. Call now and you'll receive a free ESPN the magazine messenger bag to carry your 26 issues around in style.
Southpaw Brian Mattoon drops the curve into right-handed hitting Kernel center fielder Felix Nunez. Now Nunez takes up and away for a ball. Felix grounded out to short in the first inning. Kernels have been out hit by the LumberKings 4-3. We're tied in the bottom of the third, 3-3. Felix Nunez swings at a changeup and misses it, strike two. Kirby, our good friend from the Cedar Rapids Solid Waste and Recycling Department, will be showing the big crowd here how to prepare bottles and glass and jars for recycling. Nunez pounds one off his tootsie, and it's still 1-2 to Felix Nunez. Matt Moss, how about any memories from your childhood of the 4th of July? Were you a kid that your parents allowed to buy those lady fingers, black cats, and bottle rockets?
Well, John, I definitely have some fireworks memories.
A ground ball up the middle. It may sneak through. The second baseman Furtado throws in the dirt, and Nunez will hold at first base. It'll likely be an infield single for Felix Nunez. Micah Furtado got to it behind the bag, and then his throw didn't have enough on it. Josh Cruiser got a glove on it. It glanced off his mitt and went toward the Kernel first base dugout, but there was the catcher, Cody Clark, backing up the play, and the Kernels have the go-ahead run on here in the bottom of the third on Felix Nunez's infield single up the middle.
Yeah, John, my buddies and I have always enjoyed shooting off fireworks, but then, who doesn't like watching things, shooting off and see colorful, loud bangs and colorful explosions?
Well, every kid and adult that I know enjoys it. Slicing one foul into the seats above the Kernel first base dugout for strike one is Brandon Wood. Brandon singled, advanced to second on a wild pitch, and scored in the Kernel 3-run first inning. A throw to first, and Nunez is back standing up.
Well, wrapping up our Halo happenings in the Pioneer League, the Provo Angels fell to Ogden 21-3.
Ouch. That's a football score.
That is.
Oh, boy. Provo losing 21-3. Brandon Wood hammers a base hit into left field, and Nunez will round second and hold there as Larry Grayson fumbled it for a moment. Brandon Wood is 2 for 2, adding to his .285 average. Boy, Brandon waited and waited on that off-speed delivery, and then, he really rung the bell hard as he drilled it into left field for his second straight hit. Now, Bobby Wilson's taking a long look at Bobby Magallanes, flashing signs from third. Ordinarily at home, with Bobby Wilson, the cleanup batter, you don't bunt, but maybe Bobby will bunt this time.
Well, some good news. Former Colonel Sean Rodriguez, who was just recently sent to Provo, was 3 for 3 in that 21-3 loss. Hit a double, a home run, and 2 RBIs, so he accounted for 2, if not all 3 of the Provo runs. He's hitting .522 for the Provo Angels.
I was going to say, Matt, he'll tear that league up. Far from bunting, Bobby Wilson swings right out of his shoes at a changeup, strike one. No, Sean Rodriguez, it's a catch-22. The Angels happen to be so blessed with a wealth of talent that they can afford to send 19-year-old Sean Rodriguez to the rookie ranks, but he'll tear that league up, and glad to hear that he's hitting over 500. Bobby tips one foul behind the plate, and Bobby Wilson right where Brian Mattoon wants him in the hole, 0-2. Bobby reached on a throwing error by Casey Benjamin, the third baseman, and scored in that Colonel 3-run first. We're in the bottom of the third, tied at 3. The Colonels have Felix Nunez at second, Brandon Wood at first, with nobody out, but Bobby Wilson's in the hole. No balls, 2 strikes. A throw to second. Nunez is safe on a hand-first slide. Boy, that little Micah Furtado is a real fire plug, isn't he, Matt? He doesn't look like a baseball player. He looks like the kind of guy that would stop you at the corner and say, how would you like me to wash your windshield? And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. A ground ball to the right side. Furtado kicks it into right. Here comes Nunez to score. Brandon Wood on to third. And another error committed by the LumberKings. That one will be on Micah Furtado, the man who we just talked about. And the error allows Nunez to score and make it 4-3 Colonels. Brandon Wood didn't hesitate as that ball ricocheted off Furtado's glove for an error. Wood went to third, and it's first and third, nobody out. Bobby Wilson reaches for the second time on an error. I don't mean to imply Furtado is the kind of guy that would be hanging around on a street corner. I just mean that it's a real tribute to him that he can play at this high level with the excellence he's played with this evening with his body type. He just doesn't look like a baseball player. Short, stocky, but very, very full of potential by evidence of the fact he's been hit twice by pitches and scored a run. He's the kind of guy that you probably, like Pete Rose, want on your side, but when he's against you, you say, we got to beat that guy. He gets under your skin a little bit.
He seems to have gotten under the skin of Nick Touchstone.
Blake Balcom takes a curve, and it's 1-1 to Blake.
Had a very short exchange of words there along the first baseline.
Yes, and then as you said, Furtado made a hard and clean slide into second, trying to break up a double play, and I think Nick Touchstone may loosen him up a little bit instead of with a couple of curveballs which have hit him. Nick may come with the fastball next time he bats. There goes Bobby Wilson. A ground ball! Backhanded by the shortstop. Throw home, not in time! A hit and run executed beautifully by Blake Balcom makes it 5-3 Colonels. What a terrific play by Abigail Sandoval. The shortstop was heading over to second to cover. Bobby Wilson was running, and the batter Balcom grounded it to the spot occupied by Sandoval. Sandoval slammed on his brakes. And then, Matt, I know a lot of people in the stands are thinking, well, why did he throw home?
That's what I'm thinking.
The only play I think he had. Did he have a play at first?
I thought he had an out at first.
Okay.
And I think with no outs and the Colonels batting well, I think they should have traded an out for a run there instead of, going for the stop the run, and now you have no outs.
Here's Michael Collins with 2 on and nobody out. A curve, a strike. What a beautifully executed hit and run. Fielder's choice for Blake Balcom to make it 5-3 Colonels. Michael Collins drove in a run with a ground ball single deep in the hole at short into left his first time up. I thought Michael might be bunting here, but he's swinging away with 2 on and nobody out. Base hit into left field, hit like a bullet. Bobby Wilson will be held at third, and the bases are loaded. The bases are loaded with nobody out. Oh, Michael Collins hit that ball so hard that Bobby Wilson had to stop at third. They're loaded up now with nobody out, and out comes Stan Hilton, a former first-round draft pick. And Stan Hilton will try to help out lefty Brian Mattoon. Let's go back, Matt Moss, to that hit-and-run fielder's choice by Balcom. Remember, you and I were saying that back in the first inning when Micah Furtado looked to be out at third, but Nick Touchstone threw over the head of Matt Brown. Again, when you put runners in motion in this game of baseball, I think, and I have no empirical data to confirm this or support it, but I think 2/3 of the time, if not 70% of the time, something good's going to come of it.
Well, you got to break the concentration of the fielders, because now not only do they have to concentrate on the ball and where they're going to put it, but they have to concentrate on the base runner as well. Just that little added Just that little addition there can often lead to an error or a missed throw or a throw not hard enough.
In the case of Blake Balcom's hit and run with Bobby Wilson going from first to second, the shortstop Sandoval was moving towards second to cover second with Wilson running, and Blake Balcom made him stop in his tracks, field the ball on his backhanded side on his heels. Brandon Wood scored on that play. Now Matt Pauley with the bases loaded takes high for ball one. Michael Collins is 2 for 2. He's at first base. At second, Balcom at third, Bobby Wilson, and Pauley struck out on 3 pitches. His first time up to end the Kernel first inning. It's 5-3 Kernels. Pauley batting with the bases loaded.
Joldy Watts is up in the bullpen for the LumberKings. 6'2" right-hander.
Ball 2 outside to Matt Pauley. Our special guest, Carter Bauman Chapman, will be joining us in the 4th inning. Let's hope the Kernels have a bigger lead. A high pop-up. Matt Pauley cannot get a run home as he pops up to the third baseman, and taking it right where the grass meets the dirt on the inner edge of the infield is Casey Benjamin. A huge, huge out recorded by Brian Mattoon as he gets Matt Pauley to pop out to the third baseman. 1 away for Matt Brown. Well, Matt could erase the pain of a slow start here in the second half by coming through with runners aboard. A fly ball is what Matt wants, at least, to make it a 3-run inning. 5-3 Kernels, bottom of the 3rd inning. Matt Brown fouled off 7 two-strike pitches in the 2nd inning before flying out to right. Swing and a miss, strike 1 on a fastball. And we have a little bit of a smoke trail from the hot corner grill above the third base seats. That smoke is carrying across the diamond.
You know, John, on that throw from Abigail Sandoval to Cody Clark, I honestly thought we were going to see a collision there too, but...
You mean when Wood scored?
Right.
Yes. Brandon scored standing up.
I thought we were going to see a slide, if not a collision there.
Strike, or ball 1 outside to Matt Brown. Matt, the team leader with 52 RBIs, batting with Wilson at third, Balcom at second, Collins at first. Ground ball, foul past first. It would have cleared the bases. 3 runs would have scored had that ball stayed fair. And what do you think, Matt Moss? Foul by how much?
Oh, I'd say it was about 1.5 feet, 2 feet in front of the bag, in front of third base when it skeetered out of in the foul territory.
No argument from Bobby Magallanes, who had the best look at it of anybody in the ballpark, including the plate umpire, who made the right call, Greg Tucker. Ooh, the bases would have been cleared if Matt Brown's ground ball stayed fair over the bag at third, but it went foul for a strike 2. This Brian Mattoon is some competitor, I'll tell you that. He tried to get Matt Brown to go fishing. Matt kept his bait on the line and took ball 2 outside. Kirby, our recycling mascot, saying hello to that little fella who has on pinstriped shorts and no shirt down below. I still wonder what parent would take that kid's shirt off. Swing and a tip foul by Matt Brown, strike 3, just what Brian Mattoon wanted. He got inside on Matt Brown, tied him up in knots, and Matt still struggling in the second half to find the swing that took him to such excellence in the first half. Let's see if Quan Cosby can give the Kernels the momentum in this game. And make no mistake, if the Kernels don't score in this bases loaded, no out situation, even though we lead by 2, Clinton will have the momentum in this game. Now the little shirtless fellow walking back up to his dad, and an older fellow getting his bat autographed by Kirby.
Guy getting the autograph had a Spider-Man shirt on.
Yes, he does.
I seen that movie on Thursday, John. That was an incredible movie.
Full of action and special effects.
Oh, yeah.
Quan Cosby trying to pick up Pauley and Brown and do something they couldn't do, and that is come through with a big clutch hit with the bases loaded. Strike 1 to Quan, who struck out his first time. The Kernels have taken advantage of an error and scored a pair of runs to take the lead here in the third inning. A little looper into left center. It may fall. It may fall. It may fall. Diving catch to save 2 runs by Adam Barassa, who broke back and then came rushing in and took 2 runs away from the Kernels with a headlong sprawl to rob Quan Cosby of a 2-run single. Well, even though the Kernels scored 2 runs on 3 hits and an error and leave the bases loaded, even though we did that, mark my words, we'll look back at this 3rd inning and say, oh, we had a chance. We had a chance to put the LumberKings in a big, big hole, but did not do it. We had the bases loaded with nobody out and did not score, although we took the lead with 2 runs. Carter Chapman, our special guest here this evening, will join us for the 4th inning. After 3, the Kernels lead Clinton 5-3. This is Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Airport National 27-hole public golf course invites you to join our golf family all year with these great specials. 2-for-1 green fees with cart, 2-for-1 range ball, 2-for-1 mini golf. Listen to this unbelievable new special. Only $25 per person for unlimited golf with cart all day long on weekdays. And only $27 per person for unlimited golf, including cart on weekends. Play unlimited twilight golf till dark with free riding cart for only $16 per person. Enjoy fast, friendly, and fun family golf at Cedar Rapids Airport National.
Toyota Financial Services and the Kernels would like to thank the legions of parents throughout the community who are encouraging and helping their children to read this summer. The time and attention you spend supporting your child's reading effort means the world to them. Toyota Financial Services and the Kernels thank you for making a true difference in the welfare of your children. From helping them pick out their books to initialing their bookmarks and bringing them to the stadium to get their reading rewards, from Toyota Financial Services, you're the best.
Quiznos Kernels Kids Club members. Did you know that your Quiznos Kernels Kids Club membership card is good for more than just great deals at the ballpark? That's right. By showing your Quiznos Kernels Kids Club membership card at any of the Cedar Rapids Quiznos, you'll receive a free small drink when you buy a Quiznos sub. That's a free small drink with the purchase of a Quiznos sub when you show your Quiznos Kernels Kids Club card.
Quiznos, toasty.
It's 5-3 in favor of the Kernels as we go to the top of the 4th inning. Carter Chapman is the son of Dana Bauman Chapman from Aon Consulting. Dana and Aon have been a season ticket holder with us the first 3 years in the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. And Carter, the first thing I wanted you to do, I'm always describing how much fun it is to be the Culver Small Fry. I'd like you to tell our listeners what you got to do just, a couple of innings ago as the Culver Small Fry of the game.
Well, I got to go out and get an autograph by Matt Brown with my hat that they gave me.
And then did Mr. Shucks give you anything extra from Culver's?
Also, Mr. Shucks gave me a certificate for a free kids meal at Culver's.
Well, that's wonderful, Carter. I'm so glad that you and your mom stopped by one of the 2 Culver's frozen custard and Butterburger locations and registered for your chance to be drawn as the Culver Small Fry. The batter is in the hole, Larry Grayson. He faked a bunt, and then he swung and missed. 0-2 to Larry Grayson here in the top of the 4th inning. A tap foul towards third. Carter Chapman may be a familiar name to a lot of you Colonel fans. Carter, you always seem to, you remind me of a young Forrest Gump. You're always where the action is. Is that by design or just luck?
Luck.
Well, you're an outgoing kid, and I'm so proud of your school, Coolidge Elementary. A pitch in the dirt. Were you here earlier this spring for Coolidge Elementary School Night?
Yeah, I was.
That was pretty neat, wasn't it?
I was in the Disney Bat Race.
Oh, my goodness. There you go again.
And when they had it, when I was waiting, my friends, they were throwing popcorn into my mouth. And one accidentally got up my nose.
Oh, boy.
And I sneezed it out.
Carter, I've had that happen as well. Is that your dad, Kyle, waving up to us with that neat plaid shirt?
Yes.
I think Kyle just heard that funny story about the popcorn. Great to have your dad here. The count's gone full to Larry Grayson as Nick Touchstone tried to paint the outside corner with a curveball, and it's 3-2 to Larry Grayson. 5-3 Kernels, top of the 4th. A big crowd here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. Grayson grounds one outside third. It's fielded by skipper Jose Carlos Subero, and Subero tosses it up into that big throng of kids on the lawn section. Carter, I know you and your mom, through her business, Aon Consulting, have season tickets, but do you ever sit on the lawn section?
I have once.
A ground ball to deep short. Tough play for Brandon Wood. His throw is not in time, and an infield single for Larry Grayson. Excellent effort by Brandon Wood, but after being in the hole 0-2, Larry Grayson grounds to deep short for an infield single, and I don't mean to dwell on it, but we're going to look back on that third inning and wish we'd have gotten at least a fly ball. We had the bases loaded with nobody out, and lefty Brian Mattoon had his pitching coach Stan Hilton come out to counsel him, and Mattoon got Matt Pauley to pop to third, struck out Matt Brown, and got Quan Cosby to fly to shallow center on a terrific recovery by Adam Barassa, who broke back on it. Now Casey Benjamin bunts, and Nick Touchstone backhands it, throws to second, out! Fine play by Nick Touchstone. Nick moved very nimbly for a 6'5" fella. He had to pop to his left off the mound to Carter and I's right, and he fielded that bunt. Casey Benjamin was bunting for a base hit, and he's on a fielder's choice. Larry Grayson thrown out, pitcher to shortstop. That was a very good athletic play by Nick Touchstone. 1-on-1 out for Cody Clark. Carter, how do you like the lawn section?
Well, it's pretty good.
Boy, if a foul ball comes there, though, you better either dig a hole or fight for your life. A bouncer to third, not hard enough hit for a double play. Matt Brown makes the wise choice and airmails it across the diamond to get Cody Clark for the second out of the inning. Cody Clark, the number 8 hitter, an RBI single in the second inning, has grounded out to third with Casey Benjamin advancing to second. The batter, Abigail Sandoval. Well, Carter, you are a big, big baseball fan, and I know you're good friends with our Director of Public Relations and Marketing, Mike Kuhlbeck. What has Mike helped you with?
He was my baseball coach one year.
And go ahead, Carter.
And his son, Tyler Kuhlbeck, goes to my school.
And Tyler, man, that kid is a bundle of energy. Strike one on the inside corner to Sandoval. I know Mike is very good with you kids. He doesn't yell at you or lecture you or swear at you. He's a very patient man. A good dad and a good Little League coach. Sandoval, a right-handed hitting number 9 batter, steps out as Nick Touchstone was into his motion, and that is a mistake by the plate umpire, Greg Tucker, for granting the batter time as Touchstone was on his way home with his motion. Abigail hitting .224. 2 homers, 13 RBIs, a ground ball past first, a base hit. Abigail Sandoval, the number 9 hitter, has his second RBI, and the Colonel lead is now 5-4. Abigail Sandoval, his second hit as the number 9 hitter, clubbed it past the diving Matt Pauley between the bag and first for a 2-out RBI. And the Clinton LumberKings continue to show why they're off to a good start in the second half, a record of 5-4. They trailed in this game 3-1. They've trailed 5-3. Now they're only down by a run, 5-4. Abigail Sandoval with his second hit, his second RBI as the number 9 hitter.
Faucets leaking, termites feasting, fishing, tackle, pants and spackle, tubs, jacuzzis, tapes and movies, everything from A to Z. Tile and lumber, tons of plumbers, elevators, coffee makers, radiators, party favors.
Well, I'm going to Omaha the 7th and 8th, maybe.
What would you do there? Do you have family?
Well, my mom's going on a business trip, and we want to go with her.
Oh, neat. Omaha's a great city. Have you been there before?
No.
It's where they have the College World Series. They have minor league baseball there, too. The Omaha Royals. Strike one to the left-handed batter, Adam Barrasso.
And also on July 9th, I'm going to the suite, one of the Diamond Suites here.
Oh, great!
It's,
Is it your birthday?
We just rented it out because we wanted to.
Well, that's great. Now, will you invite some of your neighborhood friends, or will Mom and Dad invite their adult friends?
Well, I have mostly, I know all of them.
Good.
So.
Well, that's great. July 9th, we'll be looking for you here, and You'll be right on this level, Carter, in one of our beautiful suites.
I'll be sitting either on one side or the other of this middle section. So.
Okay. Well, I hope we can send one of our helpers in to say hello to you. The 0-2 pitch to Adam Barassa. High, a fastball from Nick Touchstone. We're in the top of the 4th inning on the 4th of July. A crowd of, we think, over 5,000 here. Our special guests are Carter Bauman Chapman and his mom, Dana Bauman Chapman, and his dad down below, Kyle Chapman. The 1-2 to the left-handed hitting leadoff batter. They have the runner picked off. Paulie's throw to the shortstop, Brandon Wood, and out to end the inning is Abigail Sandoval. Nick Touchstone picks off Sandoval. The caught stealing goes pitcher, first base, shortstop, 1-3-6. We'll be back with more from Coolidge Elementary student Carter Chapman in the bottom of the 4th inning. After 3.5, the Kernels 5, Clinton 4, and you're tuned to Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Faucets leaking, termites feasting, fishing, tackle, paints and spackle, tubs, jacuzzis, tapes and movies, everything from A to Z. Tile and lumber, tons of plumbers, elevators, coffee makers, radiators, party favors. Take a look and you'll see. Let your fingers do walking through Yellow Book, not the other book.
When it comes to making their buying decisions, people today let their fingers do the walking through Yellow Book Yellow Pages. It's no wonder. Yellow Book's packed with money-saving coupons, restaurant menus, and vital community info. And with more ads than ever before, it has everything you need right at your fingertips. It's easy to spot. Just reach for the yellow directory with the map on the cover and join the smart shoppers who choose Yellow Book, not the other book. Put your business in Yellow Book. Call 1-800-YB-YELLOW.
Let your fingers do walking through Yellow Book, not the other book.
Thanks for having us over for the game, but we could have had it at my house. My TV is bigger, and my AC works.
I thought you were supposed to get that fixed while your wife was out of town this week.
Oh, man, I totally forgot, and she's coming home tomorrow. She's gonna kill you. What am I gonna do?
You need to call the A-Team.
The A-Team?
Yeah, Ahern Plumbing and Heating. They can get your service in 24 hours, guaranteed.
I better call Ahern Plumbing and Heating right away.
John?
Carter will talk about that between innings. Carter Chapman and I were talking about what suite he might be in on July 9th. And Carter, you might know what suite it is?
I think it's suite 29.
Okay, 209 probably. Joldy Watts is taken over here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Joldy Watts is 3-1 on the year, on for the 24th time out of the Clinton bullpen, a couple of saves. Watts, 2, switch hitting leadoff batter, Alexis Casilla, and ball 1 low to Casilla. 5-4 Kernels. Starter Brian Mattoon went 3 innings, gave the Kernels 5 runs, only 1 earned. On, 6 hits, Mattoon struck out 4, walked none, and threw a wild pitch. Joldy Watts misses low and in. And it's 2 balls, no strikes to the Kernel leadoff man, Alexis Casilla. 5-4 Kernels, a strike from Joldy Watts. Carter Chapman is with us. And Carter, I know that Coolidge is a really neat school. It's on the southwest side. Here's a drive, I think, for extra bases into the right center field gap. It'll be at least a triple, maybe an inside the park home run for Alexis Casilla. He goes to third, and he's safe with the leadoff triple. Alexis Casilla can fly. Alexis Casilla has tripled into the right center field gap, greeting Joldy Watts with a rude awakening. And Joldy Watts will now pitch with a runner at third and nobody out for Felix Nunez. Man, Felix Nunez, the leadoff batter Alexis Casilla, in his second game as a Colonel, his first game at home, brought this crowd to an electrifying frenzy with a leadoff triple into the right center field alley. Now Nunez swings hard and fouls one straight back off Joldy Watts. Joldywatts. Watts is 3-1 on the year, a 6.85 ERA. In 46 innings, he's given up 58 hits. Fanned 41 batters in 46 innings, walked 15. The league hitting .307 off Joldy Watts from the College of Eastern Utah. A breaking pitch low, ball one to right-handed hitting Felix Nunez. Carter, what I'm trying to ask, I know you go to Coolidge School, and I wondered if you've been over to the new Cherry Hill swimming pool yet.
I went on Friday.
I want to get a report momentarily. The 1-1 to Felix Nunez. Strike two called with the infield in. Is it open?
Yes.
Is it as nice as I've heard?
Yeah, it's twice the size of Norridge, and they have 3 water slides. They have one that goes like straight down, one that drops off.
I can't wait.
They have a huge swimming area, just normal swimming. They have like this play set with all these levers and stuff. You can pull and it makes different things go.
Oh, am I glad our voters a few years back had the foresight and gumption to vote for that bond issue that allowed us to replace our swimming pools.
Also, they have these big umbrellas, and then there's like a drop-off that big, and you can sit there in the shade.
Wow, I've got to get over there. The 1-2, low and away, and it's 2-2 to Felix Nunez. A leadoff triple by Alexis Casilla here in the 4th inning. 5-4 Kernels. We've out-hit Clinton 7-6. The LumberKings have made 2 errors that cost starter Brian Mattoon 4 runs. Can Felix Nunez come through with a runner at third and nobody out, the infield in? Swing and a miss. Joldy Watts, a changeup, gets Felix Nunez. 1 gone here in the Colonel 4th inning. Boy, we've got to get that runner home from third. Let's hope Brandon Wood, who's done it all season long, can do it again for the Colonels here in this 4th inning. Carter, I think I only have to pay $3 or $4 to use that new pool. Is that what you paid?
We paid $3.50.
That's a very good bargain. And they're going to walk Brandon Wood. Look out. Sometimes a wild pitch happens on these intentional walks. Ball 1 outside to Brandon. Brandon was 2 for 2 against the lefty Brian Mattoon. Listen to the crowd. They don't like the fact that their hometown Colonel, Brandon Wood, is being walked here. There's ball 3. And they're walking Wood to get to Bobby Wilson to try to set up a double play that would end the inning. Ball 4 to Brandon Wood. Well, Carter, did you spend over an hour at the new Cherry Hill Park pool?
We spent about an hour and a half. It's really weird, the hours. They open at 1. They go to 5:30. Then they close again for swim lessons, and then they open again at 6:30. So
I'll have to call tomorrow. I hope they're open on July 5th. That kid that didn't have his shirt on has now put his shirt on, and he's getting his picture taken below with Mr. Shucks. The reason I was so concerned about that kid is you really shouldn't be walking around a ballpark without a shirt on. A line drive into center by Bobby Wilson gives the Colonels a 6-4 lead. Stopping at second, Brandon Wood. Bobby Wilson tagged the very first pitch from Joldy Watts, and I mean he ripped it into center field. Bobby with a strong statement to the LumberKings saying, "How dare you walk the man in front of me to get to me?" Bobby Wilson with his 43rd run driven into the year makes it 6-4 Colonels. Brandon Wood, who was walked intentionally by Watts, stopped at second as Alexis Casilla scores to make it 6-4. Well, I'm glad you were able to report on the Cherry Hill Park new swimming pool, Carter, because I haven't had a chance to get over yet. I had no idea it was bigger than Knoll Ridge Park. Blake Balcom with a 2-run double in the first. An RBI on a fielder's choice in the third. Swings hard and misses at a curveball, strike 1. First, go ahead, Carter.
They also have a really nice concession stand.
I was going to ask you, because the only thing I didn't like about the old pool, other than it had to be shut down all the time because of leaky pipes, is the locker rooms weren't very nice and they didn't have a concession stand, but they do now.
They have 3 doors that open for concession stand. They have, like, pizza, pop, Laffy Taffy.
Oh, all the things I would load up on before I took my swim. No, I'm just kidding, Carter. My mom would never let me swim she'd let me eat that stuff after I swam. But not before I swam. She always was afraid I'd get stomach cramps.
I did it after.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. First and second, 1 out, and Blake Balcom in the hole, 0-1. This game has been full of fireworks, and we're going to see fireworks from the Freedom Festival around 9:15 this evening. Carter Chapman is our special guest. The 0-1 from Watts is driven in the air to right, down the line. I don't know if Bubel is going to get there. He does get there. Tagging from second and advancing to third is Brandon Wood. As Blake Balcom hit it deep into right, it was caught by Dane Bubella near the warning track in fair ground. Brandon Wood went to third, and it's Michael Collins trying to go 3 for 3 to add to the Kernels' 6-4 lead here in the 4th inning. Well, Carter, I'll tell you what, last time you were on the air with us on Mother's Day last spring, did some of your friends hear you?
Mostly all of them.
Good. Because I mean this sincerely, I really think you have a future should your heart lead you to this field of sportscasting. You have a very good conversational manner about you, and I know that's in large part your mom. And a ground ball sharply hit to second, and the second baseman Furtado feeds Sandoval for the force of Wilson. The play went second to short, 4-6, and that ends the 4th inning. 1 run for the Kernels. A leadoff triple by Casilla, an RBI single from Wilson, 2 hits. There were no Clinton errors, and the Kernels leave 2 men aboard and have stranded 6. Carter, I was about to thank your parents for being so good. As I was lucky to have great mom and dad who would take me to the ballpark, and thank you so much for joining us during the 4th inning as our special guest.
Thank you.
Thanks to Carter Chapman. We go to the top of the 5th inning, and the Kernels lead Clinton 6-4. This is Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
The way to pocket important savings is to take advantage of Chevron motor oils and lubricants from the Autzen Oil Company, your local Chevron oil distributor. Chevron lubricants are made from higher quality base oils for better performance, and that means longer life for your engine. Contact the Autzen Oil Company in Cedar Rapids for details on how you can save time and money with Chevron lubricants. The Autzen Oil Company, serving Iowa with quality lubricants since 1933. Visit Autzen Oil Company at www.autzen.com.
Greeny and Golick.
The great Joe Montana joins us. Philosophically, what is your take on whether or not rookie quarterbacks should be thrown to the wolves immediately?
Well, I think the situation, you have to look at each one separately. And in most situations, it's a huge learning curve that comes up. Not only are you learning a new offense, but the defenses you're going to see in the NFL are nowhere near what you just saw in college. So that's the most difficult part for the quarterback, because you can have some great tools, but most of the game for the quarterback is, they say 75% of it is mental, in your preparation and your recognition on the field. So I think it'll be difficult. I think they think that he's going to make a big impact, but up there in New York right away. But it's always good to sit out a little bit, and even for part of that season, to get your feet wet and learn a little bit more and feel more comfortable with that offense. And also with the things that you see out there.
Mike and Mike in the Morning on ESPN Radio.
Here we go to the top of the 5th inning. Our Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question will come your way in the 6th inning. Great to hear from Carter Chapman. And Matt Moss, you and I at one time were Carter's age, and it sounded to me like Carter is going to be a baseball fan for life.
Well, that's good to hear, John.
It starts when you're a kid. Very few people pick this game up late in life and say that they're a baseball fan. Ball 1 is inside to the leadoff batter. Now a curve, and it's 1-1 to Adam Barraza. Barraza was at the plate when Dick Touchstone picked off Abigail Sandoval to end the 4th inning. A curve goes over the head of Adam Barraza, the left-handed batter. He's grounded to short and grounded to first. Left-handed hitter. Beautiful curveball for strike 2. One and 2 to Adam Barraza. We'll be giving you a update on the State Farm Major League scoreboard here in the 5th inning. A swing and a foul. That is, Matt, if you've had time to update it.
Oh, yeah, John. I got it taken care of.
Okay, well, let's share it with our fans as we go along here in the top of the 5th inning. It's 2 and 2 to Adam Barraza, top of the order for the LumberKings here in the top of the 5th, 6-4 Kernels. A curve high, ball 3.
State Farm Major League Scoreboard is brought to you by State Farm insurance agents Gary Schubert, Al Shetler, Lanny Peterson, and Dale Thompson. A lot of finals logged in already.
Here's the 3-2 to the leadoff batter, and a high pop foul out of play to the left.
At Turner Field, the Braves beat the Red Sox 10-4. At Shea Stadium, the Mets beat the Yankees 6-5. At the Great American Ballpark, the Reds beat the Indians 5-4 in 11 innings.
The next 3-2 is bounced to the right side, cut off by Pauly. This will be a close play, and not in time. The runner will hold it first. They should award, I think they'll award the batter with a base hit. Matt Pauly had to go so far to his right, and then he threw to touchstone covering. Nick could not catch the ball, and even if he had, I think Barraza would have beaten it out for an infield single. And the LumberKings just keep coming right back at the Kernels. The Kernels leading 6-4 here in the top of the 5th. Adam Barraza has the 7th hit for Clinton.
At Citizens Bank Park, the Phillies beat the Orioles 5-2. At Olympic Stadium, the Expos held on to beat the Blue Jays 6-4.
Now batting is Micah Furtado, and Matt Moss had a prediction about this batter that Touchstone might have been upset with him for him not getting out of the way of a curveball, and we'll see what develops here.
At PNC Park, the Pirates defeated the Brewers 6-2. At Minute Maid Park, the Rangers shellacked the Astros 18-3.
Ooh, 18-3. A throw to first, and again, the leadoff batter Barraza dives back in safely.
At Busch Stadium, the Cardinals beat the Mariners 2-1. At Coors Field, the Rockies overcame a 7-0 deficit to beat the Tigers 10-8.
Nick Touchstone has not thrown a pitch yet to Micah Furtado, the left-handed batter, who has been hit twice by curveballs. Another throw to first, and again the runner back standing up.
Boy, you wonder if this is some kind of a mind game. 3 consecutive throws.
Something's going on for sure, Matt. I don't know if it's psychological or just that the Kernels want to make sure Barraza doesn't steal second. The first pitch to Furtado. Look out! You were right, Matt Moss! You were right! Matt Moss called it. Look out! And Furtado and Touchstone exchange words again. Matt, you saw it coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You saw that coming.
Well, there's a little bit of discussion. If that's a nice way of putting it.
The ball hit Furtado's bat, and remember, it wasn't a curveball this time. It was a fastball right at his ribs.
He brought the heat.
And Furtado got his bat up in self-defense for a foul strike. Nick Touchstone still glaring in at that left-handed batter, Micah Furtado. A broken bat looper, and the shortstop, Brandon Wood, has it. The ball was lofted in the air. The crowd oohed and awed. I don't know where the business end of the bat wound up. Oh, over by the Colonel dugout. And let's see, any words exchanged? No.
Doesn't look like it.
Micah Furtado was sawed off and popped up to the shortstop, Brandon Wood, for the first out of the inning. Matt Moss in the midst of giving all the scores from this afternoon on the State Farm Major League scoreboard, and Micah Furtado retired on a broken bat pop-up to short. Here's Josh Cruiser, 0-for-2, 6'6" right-handed slugger. Strike one, a changeup on the outside edge.
Yeah, John, about this seemingly ongoing struggle between Furtado and Touchstone. You know, ever since that first at-bat, there's just been a little bit of tension. And I knew, as soon as he started throwing to first base, I knew something was coming. He brought the heat pretty high and inside. And well, I'll be interested to see the next at-bat. Now, I hope it goes that far, because maybe we'll get some early fireworks here on the 4th of July. Who knows?
Cruiser is jammed, and he fists it foul to the Clinton on-deck circle. He's in the hole, 0-2.
Well, continuing on the State Farm Major League scoreboard, at Petco Park, the Padres beat the Royals 7-1. At SBC Park, the A's beat the Giants 9-6. Oh, I'm sorry, that game is in the bottom of the ninth. The A's beating the Giants 9-6.
A throw to first, low, and Matt Pauley dug it out.
And at Citizens Bank Park, the Diamondbacks defeated the Twins 6-2. And tonight's game, the Cubs will meet the White Sox at Wrigley Field at 7:05. And the Freeway Series between the Dodgers and the Angels will continue at Angel Stadium at 9:05 p.m.
Wouldn't that be something if that could be a doubleheader on ESPN? I don't think it is, but what a great doubleheader that would be.
Well, yeah, because there's only a 2-hour gap, so.
Ball one low to Josh Cruiser, a Midwest League All-Star. And again, Nick Touchstone throws over. Adam Barraza has 12 steals in 15 tries. He's at first with one away here in the top of the fifth inning. Nick Touchstone has had to make an awful lot of pitches here this afternoon and this evening. We're in the top of the fifth. Ball two just low as Bobby Wilson lost the handle, but the runner held at first. Josh Cruiser is second in the league with 26 doubles. He's a giant of a man, 6'6", 245. Right-handed hitter with an open stance. Ball three, as Nick was ahead 0-2. Now it's a full count. The lights are not on here. The sun is still shining brightly. A capacity crowd, we believe, of over 5,000. Now let's see if Barraza is running on this 3-2 count. There he goes! And a high pop foul onto the grandstand roof above home plate.
Of course, I was thinking, and still thinking about that for Todd as that bat. You got to wonder if he was swinging so hard that caused that bat break.
Very well could have been the case. Let's see if Barraza's running again. He is. And a strike three call. Throw to second. Double play! Double play! Josh Cruiser took strike three on a curve at the knees. He thought he had walked, and Adam Barraza thrown out by Bobby Wilson. It went second baseman to shortstop. Wilson to Wood to complete the double play. In the fifth inning, no runs for Clinton. One hit, an infield single, no Kernel errors. The LumberKings leave nobody aboard, and Clinton has only left 2 runners in 5 at-bats. After 4.5, the Kernels lead the LumberKings 6-4. You're enjoying Kernel baseball on the Zone.
Knowing who you are is important. At Kirkwood Community College, we know who we are. We are accessibility. We are quality. We are opportunity. We are community. Who are you? We can help you learn. Kirkwood.edu.
Kernels fans, your Cedar Rapids Taco Bell restaurants have something new for you to cheer about this season. A Taco Bell 10 spot. When the Kernels score 10 or more runs in any game this season, you'll score beef tacos for just 39 cents the very next day at any Cedar Rapids Taco Bell. That's a savings of 50 cents per taco, limit 10 per customer. Remember, when the Kernels put up a Taco Bell 10 spot by plating 10 or more runs in any game, you get up to 10 39-cent beef tacos the very next day at any Cedar Rapids Taco Bell.
Whether you're a serious athlete or a weekend warrior, injuries can take you out of your game. Smart athletes know that Physiotherapy Associates in Cedar Rapids are the experts in the treatment and prevention of sport-related injuries. Our expert staff serves the metro and surrounding area high school athletes. Physiotherapy Associates of Cedar Rapids, the smart choice in sports medicine. Call us at 398-1569. That's 398-1569. We'll get you back in your game today.
4th of July, it's been a crazy game. 15 hits, 10 runs, 3 errors. The Kernels lead at 6-4. Matt Pauley fouls one past first, strike one. Now Matt pops one foul onto the grandstand roof behind home plate for strike two. Matt Pauley is struck out and popped to third. Matt is really struggling, as is his fellow All-Star Matt Brown on deck. We've got to get Paulie and Brown back into the hitting groove that they are so capable of displaying. Joldie Watts with the next one up and away for ball one. Matt Moss and I discussing that business that was taken care of in the top of the fifth between Nick Touchstone and Micah Furtado. A ground ball sharply hit, but behind first, Josh Cruiser has it, and Josh Cruiser well in front of Matt Pauly, beating him to the base for the first out of the fifth inning, one away. Matt, you not only sensed that there would be trouble brewing after Furtado was essentially hit by him leaning into a curveball in the third inning, but then all those throws over to first to Barraza in the top of the fifth inning with Furtado at the plate, you sensed that that was to make Furtado furious.
Kind of get under his nerves a little bit.
And then Touchstone came right in on the batter's sternum, and the ball hit his bat for a foul tip. Furtado wound up popping out to shortstop Brandon Wood. Ball one is inside to Matt Brown from Joldie Watts, and now a slider, a strike to Brownie.
Because I don't even think Adam Barraza had that much of a lead. I don't even think he had that much of a lead, John. I think Touchstone was just trying to get under the skin of Furtado a little bit, and
he did.
He did.
Matt Brown hits one in the air to shallow center, and I don't know if the center fielder will get there. He doesn't. The second baseman comes to the rescue, Micah Furtado, who seems to be in the middle of everything this evening. Micah Furtado had to go a good 120 feet out into shallow center to rescue the center fielder, Adam Barraza, who misjudged that one. And Matt Brown's trials continue as he pops out to the second baseman in shallow center. We'll do some tabulating, but by my count, Matt Pauly and Matt Brown are a combined 9 for 72 in the second half, something like that. And we need them back. We need them back to their first half form. They'll get there. It's just a matter of them still believing that they have that good swing in them, and we all know they do. Ball one is inside to Quan Cosby. Quan, nothing for two this evening. Look out, a pitch goes behind Quan Cosby. He glares back at the pitcher, but Quan now talks to the catcher, and I guess that was the equalizer from Joldie Watts to get back at Nick Touchstone for throwing at Micah Furtado. Hey, we almost forgot to mention our Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question coming your way. In the top of the sixth inning, we're in the bottom of the fifth, 2 out, bases empty, and a strike to Quan Cosby, 2-1. Joldie Watts in relief of the starter, Brian Mattoon. Joldie gave up a run on 2 hits his first inning of relief in the fourth. A ground ball to short, charged by Abigail Sandoval, and on to first to retire Quan. The lower third of the Colonel order goes down in order in the home half of the fifth inning as Cosby grounds to short. The Springhouse Family Restaurant is looming just ahead as we go to the top of the sixth inning here on the 4th of July in the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. It's the Kernels 6 and the LumberKings 4. This is Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Most of us have been in a situation before in buying an automobile where what we owe is more than what our vehicle is worth. And sometimes it's thousands of dollars. There is a better way to put yourself in a better position when it comes to value, quality, and reliability. Put yourself into an industry-leading Honda automobile from Randy Kiel Honda. The Odyssey minivan boasts being #1 in safety and the #1 minivan on the market for the last 5 years. The Honda Accord leads the way in safety and has made the Car and Driver's Top 10 list more than any other car in history. The Pilot topped the SUV categories in its first year out and remains a class leader. And the CR-V continues leading in its class since its arrival in 1997. The subcompact Element is so functional and practical, they're selling as fast as they arrive. So doesn't it make sense to get the best value in the market at Randy Kiel Honda? Great folks to deal with, too, and #1 when it comes to getting you the best price. The home of confidence is Randy Kiel Honda, Centerpoint Road, or on the web at randykiel.com.
Your Cedar Rapids and Marion Hy-Vees are proud to support one of our community's most renowned and cherished assets, the Cedar Rapids Kernels. Your Cedar Rapids and Marion Hy-Vees believe in the core values that comprise the essence of Kernel baseball: fun, wholesome, affordable entertainment for us all. As you look ahead to the many joys of summer, your Cedar Rapids and Marion Hy-Vees encourage you to visit the fabulous new Veterans Memorial Stadium. Your Cedar Rapids and Marion Hy-Vees, embracing Kernel baseball, a community treasure.
Perhaps the last inning of work for Nick Touchstone will be the top of the sixth inning. The Kernels lead it 6-4, and the Kernels have a right-hander, David Austin, working in the right field bullpen. Leading off is Jason Franz, and a pitch high from Nick Touchstone. Sun shining brightly, breeze blowing out, and a chance for you to earn a $5 gift certificate from the Springhouse Family Restaurant. We've had 38 different winners so far this spring and summer. Franz takes upstairs, ball 2 from Nick Touchstone. If you've been one of the 38 Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question winners, that's great. We sure appreciate you calling in, but don't call in this evening or the rest of the year if you've already won. A slider is a strike called, and it's 2-1 to the right-handed hitting DH and cleanup batter Jason Franz. Nick Touchstone working quickly. A ground ball to first. Matt Pauley down on his right knee to glove, and he beats the batter to the bag easily. Jason Franz, who doubled his last time up, wraps out to first, one away in the sixth inning. Matt Moss, Kernel broadcast assistant, ready to whet your appetite with one of the most popular menu items at the Springhouse.
Well, John, one of the signature dishes at the Springhouse Family Restaurant is the hot beef sandwich. Served on bread, comes with mashed potatoes and smothered with gravy. One of their best sellers.
Ooh, boy, that hot beef sandwich, I've seen it, I've tasted it, and we're recommending that when you go in next, Kernel fans, you consider that as one of the many choices you have on Springhouse's menu. 1-0 to the left-handed batter. Now he grounds one to Matt Pauley. Matt can't handle it, and it squirts away from the second baseman. That's going to be a tough call, but Matt will be charged with an error. Dane Bubella hit it to the right of Matt Pauley. Matt got a very tough in-between hop, and it glanced off his glove. A chance for Alexis Casilla, but he couldn't recover in time, and it's likely an error charged on Matt Pauley, but we'll wait and see for sure. Now they've ruled it a base hit for Dane Bubella, and that is a one-out single, the 8th of the game for the visiting LumberKings. 1 on, 1 out for Larry Grayson. And Matt will have that Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question for you right now.
This 41-year-old surpassed Harold Baines earlier this season as the all-time designated hitter home run leader. Name him. That question again. This 41-year-old ball player surpassed Harold Baines earlier this season as the all-time designated hitter home run leader. Name him. For your chance for the $5 Springhouse Family Restaurant gift certificate, call us here at the press box. The number 896-7589. That number again is 896-7589.
Larry Grayson's even on the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Matt's giving you the number to call for the spring. A ground ball, double play ball to Brown. Throw to second, out. Casilla to first. Got them both to end the inning. Got them both on an around the horn. 5-4-3 twin killing. Larry Grayson hit it sharply. Matt Brown flinched just a tad, but got it to Casilla, and Alexis on to first to complete the double play. That's the third double play turned by the Kernels this afternoon and this evening. In the sixth inning, no runs, 1 hit. There were no errors committed by the Kernels, and nobody left by Clinton. After 5.5, the Kernels lead the LumberKings 6-4. You're enjoying Kernel baseball on the Zone.
What in the heck could they be?
The Dan Patrick Show. Craig Kilhorn, he's the host of the Late Late Show on CBS. I want to do 5 questions with you. Best Sports Center here.
Wait a second.
Levy?
No, that's not right. It's me.
Oh, I was 4. Go ahead.
Favorite Chris Berman nickname?
Without question, my favorite?
Yeah.
Better Be Home by 11.
Yeah.
Bert Better Be Home by 11.
Yeah, that's good. That's right.
Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Yes. Mary Kate or Ashley?
The hotter one.
Is that the?
I think we can accept that answer. That's good.
Do you pee on your hands to make them tougher?
No.
No, that's the wrong answer, because the answer is yes, you should. Best Robin Williams movie?
Good Morning Vietnam.
No! Jumanji!
Good job. You got me. Good job.
The Dan Patrick Show. Weekdays on ESPN Radio.
Kernels fans, your Cedar Rapids Taco Bell restaurants have something new for you to cheer about this season. A Taco Bell 10 spot. When the Kernels score 10 or more runs in any game this season, you'll score beef tacos for just 39 cents the very next day at any Cedar Rapids Taco Bell. That's a savings of 50 cents per taco. Limit 10 per customer. Remember, when the Kernels put up a Taco Bell 10 spot by plating 10 or more runs in any game, you get up to 10 39-cent beef tacos the very next day at any Cedar Rapids Taco Bell.
Up the bottom of the 6th, and a strike from Joel D. Watts. The skies have darkened here suddenly, but we're hoping that any rain holds off. A surprise, we have not had a winner. 2 great guesses in our Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question as Casilla punches it foul over the third base grandstand. Strike 2. 2-2 to Alexis Casilla. Now, Matt Moss, by giving the 2 incorrect answers to our Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question, it could help other callers.
Well, we had one guess for Ruben Sierra.
We'll repeat the question as we go.
We had another guess for Julio Franco.
All 3 outside to Casilla.
And to repeat our question for the Springhouse Family Restaurant $5 gift certificate.
Casilla grounds one up the line. Foul ball, and fielded by Josh Cruiser.
This 41-year-old ball player surpassed Harold Baines earlier this season as the all-time designated hitter home run leader. Name him.
It is not Julio Franco. It is not Ruben Sierra. He's still active, and he played an interleague game earlier this afternoon. Of course, he has to be an American leaguer, and he surpassed Harold Baines earlier this year as the all-time home run leader for designated hitters. Matt will give the phone number after this next payoff delivery to the Colonel leadoff batter, switch hitter Alexis Casilla. Shot to shortstop, 1 out. Casilla hit it right on the button, but lines out to Abigail Sandoval. 1 gone in the Colonel's 6th inning.
That number, 896-7589. 896-7589. Oh, we have another guess.
So Matt rushes to answer the phone and see if we have a winner in our Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question. And we will have a winner to congratulate in our Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question. Someone has called in with the correct answer. A beautiful curveball from Joel D. Watts is taken for strike 1 by Felix Nunez. He's 1 for 3 with a run scored. Same pitch, same result. A curve, strike 2 called to Felix. Boy, the skies have really darkened here, and we're going to check with our assistant Sonia Massey after this 0-2 pitch to see if she has looked at the radar and has found any hint of rain. Okay, Sonia has let us know that it is supposed to rain and then clear up right away. The 1-2 delivery is sucked over the third baseman's head into the left field corner, cutting it off Larry Grayson, and he holds Nunez to a long, long single. Wow, Felix Nunez, I thought for sure would wind up at second base, but Grayson, the ball hit so hard over the head of Casey Benjamin that Larry Grayson was able to cut it off before it reached the base of the 315 mark and hold Felix Nunez to the longest of longest singles I've seen all year.
Well, a little good news on the trivia front. We got a correct answer for our Springhouse Family Restaurant trivia question. Dale Jones of Cedar Rapids got the question correct. We'll have that for you right after this pitch.
Brandon Wood looking to reach for the 3rd time in a row. Smacks one into center. It drops for another hit. 3 hits for Brandon Wood. Nunez rounds second and gets back in safely. Diving into the bag at second is the center fielder Adam Barraza threw in behind him. Oh, Brandon Wood is at a 4th of July that he will long remember. He's 3 for 3 with a walk, and he's at first with runners at first and second. Bobby Wilson will try to add to the Colonel's 6-4 lead here in the 6th inning.
Today's question was, this 41-year-old surpassed Harold Baines earlier this season as the all-time designated hitter home run leader. The answer, Edgar Martinez of the Seattle Mariners.
And we'll give the number in a moment. The winner again, Dale Jones, has won a $5 gift certificate to the Spring House. How many home runs did Baines have coming into this year?
235 as a designated hitter.
And Edgar, I think, had 232 and has hit 6 this year.
Right, he's sitting at 238 right now.
Well, congratulations to everyone who called and to our winner, Dale Jones. Edgar Martinez is some designated hitter, but I have a comment about him that I'll share in a moment. Strike one to Bobby Wilson.
Well, speaking of comments, Dale Jones said, John, that he really likes the job that you do here. Well, he says, quote, you're the best.
Dale, thank you very much. And Matt, when he says that, he's saying it to everyone who helps us prepare and execute these broadcasts. Dale Jones, thank you so much for those very, very kind words about our broadcast. We really do appreciate you going the extra length to pass on those words of praise and commendation to us. A throw to first, and the runner is safe. Boy, at first I thought the umpire signaled out. Well, Matt, and this is not a criticism of Edgar Martinez, but when the Mariners played my Cardinals this weekend and the Cardinals swept Seattle to run their interleague play record to a sparkling 11-1, first the pitch to Bobby Wilson, grounded up the middle. The second baseman has it, tagged second, throws to first, double play. The ball went through the legs of Joldy Watts right to Micah Furtado. Furtado fielded it, took one step to fourth Brandon Wood, and then threw to get Bobby Wilson as the LumberKings give the Kernels a taste of our own medicine. We've turned 3 double plays. Clinton turns a key double play to stay in this game. It went 4-3, second to first, and it ends the Colonels' 6th inning. No runs for the Colonels, 2 hits. There were no Clinton errors. The Colonels strand a runner and have left 7. We're going to have a new pitcher, I believe, for the Colonels. No, Nick Touchstone's going to head back out there after 6. And I'll pick up my thoughts on Edgar Martinez, who was the answer to our Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question when Clinton comes to bat in the top of the 7th. After 6, Colonels lead the LumberKings 6-4. You're enjoying Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
The Zone salutes the women of Cedar Rapids with the Zone Babes. They're babelicious, baby. And you know, sports isn't all there is to life. The Zone Babes. This parade of pulchritude is as close as your computer. Check out this week's Zone Babe at thezone1600.com, your online home of local sports and other stuff. This stunning photo gallery of local lovelies is beautifully photographed by Clicks Photography Company. The Zone Babes, only at thezone1600.com. The Zone.
All across Eastern Iowa, more and more people hear this sound at the scene of breaking news. Newscopter 9, bringing you the news anywhere, anytime. Newscopter 9 has the speed and mobility to be on the scene of breaking news in minutes, bringing you live reports with its exclusive bird's-eye view of the story as it unfolds. Newscopter 9, taking news coverage to new heights, only from your 24-hour news source, KCRG TV 9.
Log on to the brand new look of ESPNradio.com, which still has the live streaming audio, interviews that you missed, and merchandise for you to check out. But here's a toe-tapping ditty to remind you. Now that makes me want to visit ESPNradio.com.
Space today, he underhands to Touchstone, 1 gone in the 7th inning. Nick Touchstone gets Casey Benjamin, a left-handed batter, to bounce out to first, 1 away in the 7th. 6-4 Kernels. It's just past 7 o'clock on the 4th of July, and you're enjoying Colonel Baseball on the Zone. ESPN Radio 1600 KCRG, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Our in-studio engineer is Bev Taylor. No, it isn't. Our in-studio engineer is Deb Williams. Matt Moss alongside. And I was going to comment about Edgar Martinez. As good a DH as he is, perhaps the best in baseball history, he was rendered virtually useless this weekend in St. Louis because he could only pinch hit. He just can't play a position anymore at age 41. And that's a shame that a guy that good can't play third, right field, first base. But, Matt, it just shows you how Edgar Martinez is a one-tool player and the best one-tool player as far as a DH perhaps in baseball history. The rain has started to fall, and that's too bad with this full house. But let's hope it's just a passing shower, as Sonia Massey assured us it was. 2-1 to Cody Clark. He pops one in the air down the first baseline. Matt Pauley in fair ground has it. Matt Pauley, made a very good play because he had to backpedal a good 65 feet down the right field line to haul that one in. And it was a fair ball. Cody Clark pops out to shallow right where Matt Pauley made the play. 2 away for Abigail Sandoval. The number 9 hitter with number 13 on his back is 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. A light rain is falling, and hopefully it'll be just that, a light rain. Strike one from Nick Touchtone.
Well, John, according to keeping score here, it appears that Matt Pauley has 5 solo putouts and as a first baseman. That's quite a bit.
Yes, it is. That's a high number. Yes, he does. He's been involved in a lot of plays this afternoon and this evening. Ground balls, bunts, pop-ups. 1-1 to the number 9 hitter. A bouncer to short. Nice big charity hop for Brandon Wood, who throws out Sandoval. And if this is the last inning for Nick Touchtone, he sure finished it with a nice big shine. Down in order go the lower third of the Clinton order in the top of the 7th inning. Nick Touchtone, 7 very good innings here this afternoon. Remember, 2 of the 8 hits that the LumberKings have been bunt singles. 7th inning stretch before a standing room only crowd. God Bless America being sung. We'll rise to honor America. After 6.5, Kernels lead Clinton 6-4. This is Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Hey, man, what's up? Just getting ready to kick your butt. Right. And mess up your hair?
You just wish you could look this good.
Boo! Nothing but net. Hey, I'm a busy guy. I don't have time to make my hair look as good as yours. I mean, who has time to schedule an appointment, let alone show up for it?
Not me. I just go to Cost Cutters. I can get in whenever it's convenient for me.
Nice shot.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you just walk into Cost Cutters and come out looking good?
Well, for some of us, that comes naturally. But Cost Cutters makes it easier. They can do anything you want. A cool cut, even some color, and get some of that styling gel stuff to keep you looking good. Like me.
Oh, so that's why your hair never moves.
Oh, you're funny.
Cost Cutters. Thanks, man. This will save me some time.
Great. Then you'll have time to work on your game.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
Are you a busy guy? Save yourself time and walk into one of our area's 12 Cost Cutters whenever it's convenient for you. Then relax, because Cost Cutters will make things easy and affordable for you.
Cost Cutters. Live your life. We always have time for your hair.
None of us can do anything about a bad day, but we can make certain nothing happens to all of our tomorrows. Take everything out of the hands of chance with a well-planned insurance program tailored specifically to your needs. Phil Andrews, your local Pekin insurance agent at Weidenhammer Andrews Agency, is an expert in insurance matters. Phil Andrews will develop the right insurance plan for your home, car, business, and life. Depend on Phil Andrews, your hometown professional with Pekin Insurance.
This crowd of over 5,000 now heading for the cover of the grandstand or the concourse roof. The rain coming down just a little bit harder. And hopefully it'll just be a squall, as they say in New England, just a passing squall. But the rain's coming down pretty good. And Matt Moss, what do you think? Do you think the grounds crew will have to put the tarp on? That's what Ron Klein, the Kernel equipment manager, is ready to do.
Yeah, he might be amassing his troops there.
Blake Balcom with the rain coming down hard now, facing right-hander Joel D. Watts. Matt, let's make sure Watts is still the hurler. I believe he is. strike one to Blake Balcom with the rain falling hard now.
Yep, that's still number 31.
Boy, this is a real shame. This was a beautiful 4th of July until out of nowhere came the rain. Remember, the fireworks not being put on by the Kernels this evening, but by the Freedom Festival from downtown, and we hope most of this crowd of over 5,000 will stay after the game and watch the fireworks from here. A shot into right center by Balcom, and the center fielder will not get it. Blake Balcom will go to second, and he'll round second. He's going to stop there with his second double of the game. Blake Balcom with a blistering double into right center. Adam Barassa has had to run left, right, back, forward. The Kernels have sent him every different direction, and that's the 11th hit for the Kernels on this 4th of July. A leadoff double by Blake Balcom. I'm not sure how much longer the plate umpire Gregory Tucker can wait before he orders the Kernel grounds crew to put the tarp on. A leadoff double by Blake Balcom. I think we've seen the last of Nick Touchstone. If we have, he went 7 innings and allowed 4 runs on 8 hits. Ball 1 is outside to Michael Collins. The rain coming down sideways now, and I don't know, Matt. I don't know how much longer they can wait before they have to put the tarp on. Now the wind really blowing the rain across the diamond from left to right, and I don't think the Beloit pitcher wants to pitch. Or does the catcher? They're being ordered to stay out there, and the pitcher's claiming he needs a towel. Now they're putting the tarp on. Listen to the crowd, Matt. There was a big moment of indecision by the umpires. The pitcher was claiming he couldn't grip the baseball, and then he forced the hand of the umpires, who finally said, let's put the tarp on. And so everybody's scrambling into action. The Kernel grounds crew, led by General Manager Jack Rader and COO Doug Nelson, they're all running out. And this rain, Matt Moss, came out of nowhere.
Hey, it's picking up even as we speak.
They better get that tarp out pretty quick, or this game's going to be in jeopardy. This is a totally unexpected development, this rain. It was a beautiful 4th of July until about 10 minutes ago. Now the rain is really coming down. And I hope the grounds crew can get that tarp on before the field has done irreparable damage in terms of wet grounds. The tarp is on the field, but it's not been covered yet. Ronnie Thorsten, the Kernel Director of Entertainment, is on the field pulling tarp. One fella slipped, and the crowd saw that. And they're really struggling to get that tarp on, Matt. I don't know if they're going to get it on in time to save this field or not. They're pulling with all their might, but I don't know if we have enough manpower.
There goes Brody.
Ron
Here
Twine.
comes the cavalry.
Ron Twine has made an appearance to come to the rescue. I wish he'd go to the other side. He's going to the weak side instead of the strong, or he's going to the strong side. And by golly,
boy, you see, once the Roadrunner hit the field, everybody's spirits were lifted. He just came in and saved the day, John.
But why did he have to do it when now they've got to cover the shortstop area? The grounds crew's done a great job to get that tarp on.
That field's looking pretty soaked now.
Well,
John.
we got it on in time, though. I'll tell you that, Matt. We did get it on in time. We're delayed by rain on the 4th of July in the bottom of the 7th inning. A leadoff double by Blake Balcom. And then at 7:08, the umpire, and I do want to reiterate that they wanted to keep playing, but pitcher Joldy Watts forced the hand of both umpires, saying that he could not grip the baseball with the rain coming down hard. And so the umpires decided to call for the tarp, and it's a good thing they did because it's still raining pretty steadily. But the skies are brightening as well, so
hopefully this will just be a quick little delay.
That's what we'll hope for. Well, Matt, I have a sheet that I'm going to go hunt down. It has a lot of the upcoming promotions on it. It's in my briefcase, which I, for some reason, can't find. So I'm going to have you, thanks to State Farm Insurance agents Al Shetler, Gary Schubat, Lanny Peterson, and Dale Thompson, fill everybody in on 4th of July baseball on the State Farm Major League scoreboard.
Well, as John said, the State Farm Major League Scoreboard is brought to you for the 9th consecutive season by Al Shetler, Gary Schubert, Lanny Peterson, and Dale Thompson. Interleague action continued today. A lot of finals logged in already. At Turner Field, the Braves beat the Red Sox 10-4. In the Subway Series at Shea Stadium, the Mets upended the Yankees 6-5. At the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, the Reds defeated the Tribe 5-4. That game took 11 innings. At Citizens Bank Park, the Phillies beat the Orioles 5-2. At Olympic Stadium, a matchup of two Canadian teams, the Expos beat the Blue Jays 6-4. The Pirates beat the Brewers 6-2. Houston and the Texas Rangers and Houston Astros met at Minute Maid Park, and the Rangers all over the Astros 18-3. That final. At Busch Stadium, the Cardinals held on in a close one to beat the Mariners 2-1. At Coors Field in Colorado, the Rockies overcame a 7-0 deficit to beat the Tigers 10-8. In a matchup of the Sunshine State teams, the Marlins got the best of the Devil Rays 4-3. At Petco Park, where they feature wireless internet, John, at every seat, the Padres beat the Royals 7-1. At SBC Park, one of those alphabet soup stadiums, the A's beat the Giants 9-6. And at Bank One Ballpark, the Diamondbacks beat the Twins 6-2. Tonight's primetime matchups feature the Cubs and the White Sox at Wrigley Field, and the Freeway Series between the Dodgers and the Angels. That game will be played at Angel Stadium. And that is a look at your State Farm Major League scoreboard. And, John, we still got quite a few fans amassed under the concourse, a few hardy souls.
And, Matt, the rain is stopped, and the skies are blue. I think Sonia Massey's report was very accurate that the rain would be very short, less than 5 minutes, and a small squall. I think they'll be taking the tarp off at any moment now, as the fans already are heading back to their seats. In the bottom of the 7th inning, the Kernels up 6-4, have a runner at second with nobody out. Matt Moss, John Rogers with you. Deb Williams, our in-studio engineer. We're in the first game of an 8-game homestand. Matt, I wondered if you will recognize this name. Tomorrow evening, a 7 o'clock start. The gates open at 6. And KWKB is presenting one of the favorite Pokemon cartoon characters here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium, Pikachu. Have you ever heard of Pikachu?
I don't think so, John. I've heard of that Pokemon show. I think I'm a little bit too old for that, John.
Well, I know you are. I just wondered, with your media savvy, you follow a lot of the cultural phenomena in modern day society. I didn't know if you'd heard of Pikachu. He will be here tomorrow to greet children from 5 to 7 in the pregame picnic area. Then Pikachu, presented by KWKB, will stroll about the ballpark meeting youngsters throughout the game. That's tomorrow. Then on Tuesday, or tomorrow also, Great Clips will be here cutting hair for just $5, and those stylists will not collect any fee. The money that you pay them to cut your hair will go to Locks of Love, a nonprofit organization that provides hair pieces to financially disadvantaged kids who are under 18 suffering from long-term medical hair loss. So a great cause to support tomorrow evening. Cheap haircuts from Great Clips to benefit Locks of Love.
Are you going to be getting a trim there tomorrow, John?
Not tomorrow, Matt. I have a wonderful cost cutters in my neighborhood that I frequent, and I will be visiting cost cutters a little later this month. But no, tomorrow would be a great chance, though, for folks to support Locks of Love and get their hair cut here. Tuesday, Mediacom is putting on fireworks. Fireworks following the game Tuesday night from Mediacom. And then Wednesday, Bird Zirk is here. Wednesday, Bird Zirk is here, one of baseball's favorite comedy acts. Will entertain everyone on Wednesday, July 7th. It's Freedom from Hunger Night, and we're accepting a challenge to help our community raise 20,000 pounds of food for area food assistance programs by participating in Freedom from Hunger. And if you bring your non-perishable food item here to the new stadium, either tomorrow night, Tuesday night, or Wednesday night, you will receive a coupon for $1 off the price of a plaza or club seat. That's Wednesday, July 7th. Bird Zirk will be here. On Friday, July 9th, a 7 o'clock start, there will be the Great Jones County Fair giveaway. The Great Jones County Fair will be giving away tickets to the first 1,000 fans 12 and over for free admission to the 152nd Great Jones County Fair later this month in Monticello. So that's a peek ahead to the remainder of the homestand.
Some good news, John. It appears that the waterlogged Kernel staff has amassed and is ready to remove the tarp.
In fact, the sun is shining now, Matt.
And we've got almost blue skies.
Well, Sonia Massey was right on when she reported a little bit ago that if we were to get any showers, they would be very brief and not affect the outcome or the continuation of this 4th of July game. Now, Matt and I want to share with you the two ways you can order Kernel tickets. One is by calling us at 896-7560, 896-7560. The other is by logging on to our website,
www.kernels, Kernels.com. And, John, while we're talking about the Internet, we want to extend an invitation to all of our listeners nationwide, perhaps even worldwide, listening on the Internet, or even our listeners here in Eastern Iowa. Send us an email. Tell us where you're listening from. Find out some of those various locations. That email address is jrogers@kernels.com. jrogers, JRODGERS @Kernels, KERNELS.com.
Matt, we sure do want to hear from our listeners, whether they be on the radio or the Internet. And as the tarp is being removed, Matt, how about taking this chance to have some fun with our Kernel of Wisdom? The Kernels struck out that's an unrelated Kernel of Wisdom for perhaps tomorrow evening. I'm going to duck out, Matt, for just a moment because I've got to take this opportunity to rush to the restroom, but I want you to have some fun. It's the 4th of July, and I'll pick it up where you leave off on our Kernel of Wisdom, a very, very interesting Kernel of Wisdom that is both funny but at the same time kind of disgusting.
Yeah? Well, that's an odd... John has given you an odd mixture of adjectives here for this Kernel of Wisdom. It's very appropriate for the 4th of July, however, as we watch some fans venture out from under the concourse and reclaiming their seats, perhaps a bit waterlogged, but ready to resume an afternoon of baseball nonetheless. The Kernel of Wisdom. The biggest explosive thrown at autograph-seeking fans. Let me repeat that again. The biggest explosive thrown at autograph-seeking fans was an M100. Now, that's a third of a stick of dynamite, and that was thrown by Vince Coleman of the New York Mets on July 24th, 1993. Now, listen to this story. Some ball players shun autograph seekers, but Vince Coleman almost blew them up in 93 by throwing a firecracker at a group of fans waiting outside Dodger Stadium. The player was riding with New York Mets teammate Bobby Bonilla in a Jeep belonging to Los Angeles Dodger Eric Davis when he threw the M100, the equivalent of a third stick of dynamite, out the window. An 11-year-old boy and a 2.5-year-old girl were injured in the blast, and Coleman was convicted of a misdemeanor possession of an explosive. The Mets released Coleman despite his apology. Now, this is, well, kind of an atrocious example of public relations, I guess you would call it, but appropriate nonetheless with the firecracker involved as the Kernel staff gets ready to roll up the tarp. It's certainly a large job. It takes, I'd say it looks like there's about a dozen people, if not 18 or so individuals out pulling the tarp. I certainly appreciate remaining high and dry up here with John Rogers in the booth.
Well, Matt, the tarp, it's even a nicer night now than it was. I don't know what that little cloudburst was all about, but going back to our Kernel of Wisdom, what in the world would possess professional baseball players to think that they would have the liberty to throw firecrackers out of a Jeep in Los Angeles? Was the year 1993?
Yes, it was. I don't know, John. I thought that was that's pretty poor.
Well, and the reason we brought it up, of course, is to reiterate that the 4th of July can be a blast, literally, but you must use common sense and responsibility. Vince Coleman and Bobby Bonilla.
You wonder what was going through his head.
Yeah, to throw firecrackers at a fan, I'll never forget that. I thought Vince Coleman and Bobby Bonilla should have been banned for life. In fact, they weren't just a low-caliber or low-power firework, were they, Matt?
No, it was a third of a stick of dynamite. And it says a 2.5, I know you were out using the restroom, but a 2.5-year-old girl and an 11-year-old boy were injured.
Oh, brother.
Now, if that isn't screaming litigation, I don't know what is.
I hope they were sued. Well, the grounds crew is rolling the tarp up, and pitching coach Stan Hilton is out on the mound testing the...
And it's definitely soaked, but it looks pretty playable.
I think a little bit of diamond dry and some raking will bring this field back to terrific condition.
Greg Tucker and Corey Blazer examining Blaster, examining the keyhole that was recently cut about, 2 weeks ago?
Between the mound and the plate. Stan Hilton giving his 2 cents worth to one of the members of the Kernel grounds crew. I think we're in great shape to resume this game in the bottom of the 7th. The Kernels leading Clinton 6-4. And the man who doubled his second double of this game, Blake Balcom, is already doing some hollow sprints down the right field line towards right center field. Also out there is Matt Pauley, that's Michael Collins. Carlos Subera is the manager of the LumberKings. He's come out now to talk to the umpires to make sure that pitching mound is put back in great shape. A very heavy bag of diamond dry now being applied to the keyhole area, the path that Matt Moss mentioned between the mound and the dirt batting circle. Carlos Subero, the manager of the LumberKings, checking the footing in the batting circle. I think we're going to be fine as long as Jesse Rader and his grounds crew have an ample amount of time to dry out the field, which that diamond dry does a pretty good job of. Matt Moss, in the old days, and this is going to sound absolutely mind-boggling and unbelievable, but I've read accounts in old baseball books that to dry a wet field off, I've heard of 2 crazy ideas. One is to burn the field. In other words, put gasoline on it and dry it by burning it. And then I've also heard of a helicopter being brought in to try to dry off a diamond before. Neither of those methods successful at all.
Wait a minute now. You're talking about burning the dirt, right?
Yes.
Where was that done?
In the Texas League. There are several accounts of it in a book that I've read. Now, I know you can't believe everything you read, but I would imagine it was true. Bud Curran, the Hall of Fame member and groundskeeper emeritus here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium, told me he has heard and seen that technique used back in the 40s and 50s to try to get a field dry, burning it dry.
Well, that sounds like a recipe for disaster to me.
Well, it was, I'm sure.
And a helicopter, well,
that's just redistributing the water. This field was $600,000, and it drains better than any field I've seen in the Midwest League. And now that the grounds crew has applied the diamond dry and is raking it into the dirt areas, the mound especially, and the home plate area, we should be underway in the next 10 minutes or so. The grounds crew is getting a workout as they're pushing that tarp back into its mooring on the face of the Randy Keel Confidence Picnic Pavilion down the left field line. It's 6-4 Kernels here in the bottom of the 7th inning. John Rogers along with Matt Moss bringing you Kernel baseball, and the sun is shining brightly now. The wind has calmed down, and the kids are enjoying getting their mugs up on the Rockwell Collins Game Link, and a lot of crowd shots from our good friends at Metro Studios. People love seeing their pictures up on the Rockwell Collins Game Link. And again, Matt, you're too young to remember this, but one of my favorite shows when I was a little kid in the early and mid-'60s was a black and white show on Sunday nights before the Ed Sullivan Show. It was called Smile. You're on Candid Camera. And what Candid Camera would do, it would be a hidden camera. Unsuspecting people would be caught in very precarious and funny, sometimes embarrassing situations, and then they would call that person onto a screen, onto a stage live. I believe the host of the show was called Alan Ladd. or Alan Ludden, I can't remember for sure, but the whole concept was to find somebody doing something that was not compromising but funny. And now I guess a spin-off of Candid Camera 40 years later would be these reality. We had an intern last year, Allie Lensko, who took a class at the University of Iowa on reality TV. Have you taken that course?
No, John, I have not had that one.
Would it interest you?
You know, I'm not a big
Papa John's pizza, it's so good. Better is best, that's understood. Better call Papa John's tonight. Better call Papa, he's got it right. Better ingredients, better pizza.
Papa John's.
Attention baseball fans, call your local. Large pizza with up to 3 toppings of your choice for only $9.99.
Papa John's.
Better call Papa.
Here's a fact about the new Veterans Memorial Stadium I bet you didn't know. All of the grounds surrounding our community's newest source of pride are maintained by Greg's Lawn Service. That's right, it's Greg's Lawn Service that provides you with that initial lift when you approach our magnificent new ballpark. Greg's Lawn Service can put their first-class signature on your yard, elevating it to the same immaculate condition you see around the stadium. Greg's Lawn Service, a cut above the rest since 1983.
When it comes to fun in the new Veterans Memorial Stadium, nothing compares to the Westdale Mall Mix 96.5 FM Home Run Hot Tub. As you bask in the soothing comfort of the Westdale Mall Mix 96.5 FM Home Run Hot Tub, you'll be taking in the action from a breathtaking perch just above the left field wall. Register for your chance to be drawn as the winner of the Westdale Mall Mix 96.5 FM Home Run Hot Tub by visiting Westdale Mall.
Cordiero, Chris Cordiero has come on in relief of Joldy Watts after the rain delay, which will be about 20 minutes. The tarp was put on at 7:08. It's now 7:28. And by the time Cordero is given his full complement, well, he has no limit to how many pitches he wants to take from the mound. He's not in the bullpen. He's pitching.
Baseball topics.
There must be zero tolerance for performance-enhancing substances in baseball.
Who's right and who's wrong? It's all a matter of opinion.
From top to bottom, this is going to be the best team I've ever.
5-0. Through 18 innings pitched, he's allowed 25 hits, walked 2, fanned 10, and league batters are hitting .338 against Chris Cordiero, the 6'3", 210-pound right-hander. And Chris is from California. He went to UCLA, so he's a Bruin. The last UCLA player we had on our ball club was in 1996. Gar Vallone, a utility infielder. Michael Collins squares the bunt and bunts foul, strike one. Well, there's some of that element of surprise with the bunt. Didn't work, but still, I think, a good time to use it.
Yes, with the first pitch coming from the reliever, Chris Cordiero. A tall right-hander, 6'3", 210. He takes over for Joldy Watts. Joldy pitched 3 innings plus. Blake Balcom's at second with nobody out. Michael Collins is 2 for 3 this afternoon and this evening. A 21-minute rain delay. Swing and a miss by Michael Collins on a curveball. Strike 2. Collins in the hole. No balls, 2 strikes. It's 6-4 Kernels. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. And I don't think the folks are going to have to wait too long before this one ends, before the Freedom Festival fireworks. It's already 7:30, the game 2 hours. Have you help us with that? We hope it's not an emergency. Okay, we thought it might be Deb Williams, our in-studio engineer. Anytime the phone rings inexplicably, we answer it because we think it could be problems with our broadcast. But we understand, Matt, nobody on the end of the line?
Nobody there.
Oh, brother, what a rotten trick to play. Matt Pauley at the plate. Boy, it would be nice if Pauley could break out of his second half doldrums and come through with a big hit here. Well, apparently we do have an urgent message from our in-studio engineer, Deb Williams, that we're going to find out what it's all about. Ball too low to Matt Pauley. Now we're going to be writing a note to try to find out if we're having a problem with the transmission here in the press box. Pauley ahead 2-0 with Balcom at second and 1 out. A looper down the line and left. Larry Grayson chases it into the corner. Larry Grayson has it in foul ground. Oh, Matt Pauley's struggles continue as he fouls out down the left field line for the second out here in the 7th inning. Okay, something was cutting out, but we seem to be okay now. Deb Williams, thank you so much. And if there are any further problems, please give us a call. In-studio engineer Deb Williams. Matt Brown will try to get a hit off of Chris Cordero. We'll have the final line on Joldy Watts for you in a moment. He went 3 innings and gave up 1 run on 5 hits. That much we do know. Can Matt Brown bring home Blake Balcom after the leadoff double? Strike 1, a slider at the knees. There is no batting box now, Matt Moss. Nothing but mud and dirt.
No, it's all been raked together with that chemical, that field dry, as you called it.
There is no batting box. Not a trace of chalk. So Matt Brown,
and also interestingly, there is no chalk line between home plate and right and left field. So you would wonder that if there was a close, say a ball. What am I trying to say, John? If it was a close call between whether or not the ball was fair or foul, it would be an even more difficult play to call without that chalk line there.
Matt, you're exactly right. The chalk lines leading from home to first and third are gone. 0-2 to Matt Brown. Balcom at second with 2 out. A sweeping curve outside. When we get Matt Pauley and Matt Brown back on track, we're going to be a pretty good second half team. But until that happens, we're in some trouble because those 2 guys were all-stars, and they're off to such slow starts in the second half that they have to come around soon. They are both really struggling right now. Matt Brown on a 1-2 delivery, pops it foul, and that one will reach the stands right below us. 6-4 Kernels, bottom of the 7th inning, first game of an 8-game homestand, 4th of July. Big crowd. We hope to have the official attendance soon, and we know it'll be something over 5,000. Blake Balcom with the leadoff double to start this inning before the rains came. Is at second with 2 out. And Matt Brown is struck by that pitch. Quan Cosby will have a 2-out RBI chance as Chris Cordero came in and hit Matt Brown in the lower back. 2 on, 2 out for Quan Cosby, 0-3. We may have an attendance now. Matt, I think we do.
5,025.
Boy, that's a sweet-sounding number, isn't it?
That is, and not only that, but I'd say we still have at least 4,800 still here after the 20-minute rain delay.
And hopefully, when the game ends, we'll have at least 3,000 stay around to enjoy the Freedom Festival fireworks. Kids are allowed to run the bases, play catch. There'll be a train, a miniature train that for $1 you can ride around the warning track material here. Strike 1 to Quan Cosby. The lights are on here. The skies have cleared. It's a beautiful 4th of July evening. Now, after the rain, Joldy Watts relieved by Chris Cordero And Cordero got Collins to fly to center. Got Matt Pauley to foul out to left and hit Matt Brown. Quan on an 0-1 pitch. Takes it low, ball 1. The Kernels have out-hit Clinton 11-8. Have led in this game 3-1, 5-3, now 6-4.
John, it seems that some of our Kernel staff had to change a tire after rushing out onto the field to...
A looper into right by Quan, and coming on to make the catch is Dane Bubella. Quan Cosby's drive hung up in the air for Bubella to come on and glove it. The Kernels waste a leadoff double by Blake Balcom that opened up the 7th. No runs in the 7th for the Kernels. 1 hit, Balcom's second double. There were no Clinton errors. The Kernels strand a pair. We've left 9 men in 7 at-bats. David Austin is going to come on in relief of starter Nick Touchstone. As we go to the 8th inning, Kernel 6, Clinton 4. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
This is an emergency. This isn't. Say it's an evening or a weekend, and you have you don't need, but you'd rather not for your doctor's office to open. That's when it's time to visit a Mercy Care Urgent Care Clinic. Just walk in, limp in, or even crawl in. And a Mercy Care physician will help you feel better faster. There's a Mercy Care Urgent Care Clinic near you. Mercy Care North in the new Mercy Health Plaza on Council Street Northeast, and Mercy Care South on Edgewood Road Southwest. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m., and weekends, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So next time you have... visit a Mercy Care Urgent Care Clinic in your neighborhood.
When searching for a professional logistics team of experts to handle your warehousing operations, look to Worley Warehousing. Worley Warehousing will help you achieve greater efficiencies by providing superior warehouse facilities, technological advancements, and expert professionals. By focusing on technological innovations and keen foresight, Worley Warehousing has grown into one of our nation's leading warehousing operations. Worley Warehousing, your single source for all of your warehousing and distribution needs.
Our first base coach and hitting coach is Justin Bachman, and that's exactly who is with us, Dana Bachman-Chapman. And I'm sorry to Kyle and Dana and Carter that I mispronounced that good German name, and it's Bachman. So for those of you that know the Chapmans, you'll know that Dana Bachman-Chapman is here along with Kyle and Carter. We have a new pitcher as we go to the top of the 8th inning in a 6-4 game with the Kernels ahead. David Austin on the mound, and David will face Adam Barraza, the leadoff batter, a left-handed hitter, a strike called. David Austin in relief of Nick Touchstone. We're trying to get Nick's final line. It was given to us by Al Gruwell, but we were having all sorts of transmission problems, and we now know, Matt Moss, that we were off the air for 5 minutes during a rain delay. Lightning knocked us off the air, so we're going to go back. No one heard our kernel of wisdom. Here's a drive down the left field line, foul, onto the Randy Keel Confidence Picnic Pavilion. Leadoff batter Adam Barraza is 1 for 3 this afternoon and this evening. Nick Touchstone went 7 innings, allowed 4 runs on 8 hits. He struck out 3, he walked 1, and he hit 2. That's his final line. David Austin pitches low and in, and it's 2-2 to the leadoff batter.
Boy, the wind really died down, too. It was really blowing that rain hard, and now Old Glory's just, well, not moving at all.
Absolutely motionless. 10 outings for David Austin, a 3.50 ERA. David's gone full now on the leadoff batter as he missed low. Barraza loops one, and a leaping effort by Brandon Wood. It goes past his glove into center. The second hit for Adam Barraza, and here in the 8th inning, the LumberKings bring the tying run to the plate. This game is far from over with David Austin taking over for Nick Touchstone. Austin, in 18 innings, has given up 16 hits, Struck out 18 batters in 18 innings, walked 5, an ERA of 3.50. Here is Micah Furtado. Furtado, a left-handed batter, had a spat with the departed starter, Nick Touchstone. They were at each other's throats the entire game. And David Austin has Furtado jackknifing out of the way of a pitch inside, ball 1.
Well, he seems to be picking up where Touchstone left off.
Loosening up that fire plug, 5 feet 7 inches, a left-handed batter, Micah Furtado from Hawaii. Went to Lewis Clark State University. And he cues one foul off the end of the bat for strike 1. Well, we didn't know we were knocked off the air during that rain delay by lightning, so Matt Moss will bring us our kernel of wisdom here in the top of the 8th inning.
Well, John, here's our kernel of wisdom. The biggest explosive thrown at autograph-seeking fans was an M100 thrown by Vince Coleman of the New York Mets. An M100 is a third of a stick of dynamite. And this tragedy took place on July 24th, 1993.
Where was Vince Coleman when that happened?
Dodger Stadium.
The 1-1 and a pitch out, and holding it first is Adam Barraza.
Now the story goes, Vince Coleman and teammate Bobby Bonilla were in a Jeep belonging to Los Angeles Dodger Eric Davis when Coleman threw the M100 out the window and injured an 11-year-old boy and a 2.5-year-old girl. And Coleman was convicted of a misdemeanor possession of an explosive, and the Mets released Vince Coleman despite an apology.
I remember it. What he and Bobby Bonilla were thinking, I'll never know.
I think they weren't thinking.
To throw a third of a stick of dynamite out of a Jeep at fans in Dodger Stadium. There goes the runner, and a pitch looped into left, a base hit. The runner will stop at second, and just like that, the LumberKings against David Austin have the tying runs aboard for Josh Cruiser. Now the big question becomes, does Cruiser bunt the tying runs into scoring position, or does Josh try to go for a big, big hit here? Carlos Subera signals Josh Cruiser by tapping his chin a couple of times. David Austin has given up a couple of soft singles, one to Adam Barraza, the next to Micah Furtado. Furtado punched it to the left of Matt Brown, softly into left field. Barraza was running on the play, but the left fielder, Quan Cosby, got it back in. Let's see if Josh Cruiser is bunting or swinging. He's swinging in a pitch high, ball 1. The Colonel lead in great jeopardy now. Clinton with 10 hits, 2 off of David Austin to start this 8th inning. Bob Zimmerman is warming up in the Colonel right field bullpen. Bob Zimmerman on his feet in the Colonel pen. Josh Cruiser takes low and in, ball 2 from David Austin. The Colonels have stranded 9 men in this game. The skies darken a bit again. Cruiser ahead, 2-0. Ball 3 outside. We're in a heap of trouble now. We're a pitch away from loading the bases. David Austin last worked Wednesday night in Davenport. He went an inning and 2/3, gave up 2 runs on 2 hits, struck out 2, walked none. Cruiser takes a strike on a 3-0 pitch. Tying runs at first and second, nobody out. Clinton batting in the top of the 8th inning. A high pop foul into the Papa John's Plaza where Bob Zimmerman is warming up in front of. David Austin's comeback to run the count full to Cruiser. David would love a pop-out, strikeout, or better yet, the 4th double play turned by the Colonels in this 4th of July game. Austin is set below the chin. The game's biggest pitch. A high pop fly down the line in right. It's a fair ball. Blake Balcom now in foul ground has it. The runner tags at second and holds. Blake Balcom with a strong throw. And Matt Moss, I said that was the game's biggest pitch. I think it was.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, John. Blake Balcom, the ball drifted into foul territory, but that's still a big maybe bring a little bit of momentum back to our side. David Austin keeps them from loading the bases up.
Yes. And
gives them a little bit of breathing room.
And now a double play would get us out of the inning. Jason Franz, who has doubled, he's 1 for 3 at the plate. It's 6-4 Kernels, and we're in the top of the 8th inning. David Austin in relief of Nick Touchstone, ready to go against Franz, the right-handed hitter. Curve is low, ball 1. Clinton has never led in this game, but they've never been too far out of it either.
Well, they did jump to a 1-0 lead in the top of the first.
You're right, Matt, on that throwing error by Nick Touchstone. Beautiful yellow hammer, a strike. 5,025 looking on Independence evening now. Franz with that Frank Thomas-like approach at the plate that we mentioned earlier, feet close together, straight up and down stance.
And that rust-colored bat with gold lettering.
Line drive on one hop. Pauly throws to second, out, and no other play. That's a huge play by Matt Pauly because he prevented the tying run from getting into scoring position. Matt lost his footing on that slick, wet infield, and his one-hop peg was fielded very well by Brandon Wood. That was a very gutsy play by Matt Pauly, who has been the busiest fielder for the Kernels all afternoon and evening long. He threw to Matt Pauly threw to Brandon Wood to force Micah Furtado. That play went 3-6. Reaching on the fielder's choice, Jason Franz. His one hopper to first had all sorts of spin on it, and when Matt Pauly went to throw to short, to second base shortstop Brandon Wood, he lost his feet.
And that was a gutsy play, like you said. He knew he could get the force at first, but he decided to try to go stop the tying run from advancing into scoring position, and B, possibly even get a double play out of it. So very gutsy call. Didn't come out completely as we wanted, but still nice to get one out closer.
Adam Barraza at third. Franz the tying run at second. A curve, a strike to Bubella. Now Jamie whacks one foul into the backstop. Bubella had a pitch up in the strike zone, a breaking pitch, but fouled it straight back. Dane Bubella is 2 for 3. He's in the hole, 0-2. The Kernels with a precarious 2-run lead, 6-4. David Austin tempts the left-handed batter and misses high, ball 1. 21 hits, 3 errors, and 10 runs. We're in the top of the 8th, 6-4 Kernels. Holding the runner at first, Franz, is Matt Pauly. The curve is drilled into deep center. Oh, way back, Nunez, way back. He caught it on the warning track. Wow. Felix Nunez kept going back, further back, way back, 395 feet away. Dane Bubella's drive to the deepest part of the ballpark, hauled in by Felix Nunez. What a big threat turned aside by Felix Nunez on the ball crushed into deep center by Dane Bubella. No runs in the 8th inning for Clinton. 2 hits. There were no Kernel errors, and the LumberKings leave a pair. They've only left 4 men on. After 7.5, it's still the Kernel 6 and Clinton 4. You're enjoying Kernel baseball on the 4th of July on the Zone.
The race continues for the 2003-2004 The Zone ESPN Radio 1600 KCRG Farm Bureau Financial Services Metro Trophy. All 7 of the Metro High Schools are competing for the trophy, given to the school with the best overall sports program. Farm Bureau Financial Services will hand out a $500 prize along with each trophy to the 2 winning schools. After the winter sports season, here are the standings. For the boys, Marion continues to lead a very close race. The Indians are in first, just ahead of Linmar and Kennedy, who are tied for second. Then it's Washington in fourth, followed by Prairie in fifth, with Xavier and Jefferson rounding out the field. On the girls' side, Kennedy still leads, with Prairie moving up to second. Xavier is now third, followed by Marion and Linmar. Jefferson is sixth, with Washington seventh. To see the breakdown, log on to thezone1600.com. The Zone, ESPN Radio 1600, Farm Bureau Financial Services Metro Trophy, from your prep sports leader, The Zone, ESPN Radio 1600 KCRG.
Dan Patrick and Ron Dibble.
Jeffrey Lyons, mover reviewer for WNBC TV in New York.
I don't want to get political, but you don't go hunting with an assault rifle.
I do, because those birds damn deserve it.
Here I come!
Rex, there's nothing left on the bird. What are we going to eat?
Don't worry about it. I've got some turkey pot pies and plenty of porn at home. You're more than welcome to stop over. Bring the family.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekdays on ESPN Radio.
Dane Bubella ended the Clinton 8th inning by drilling one to deep center, straightaway center, and Felix Nunez turned his back to home plate, went back to where he thought the ball would end up on the warning track, 395 feet away, and caught it. Now the leadoff batter for the Kernels, Alexi Casilla, is ahead, or is even on the count 1-1, facing Chris Cordero. Bottom of the 8th inning, and the Kernels have fought hard, so have the LumberKings. A fastball is outside, and the Kernel leadoff batter, a switch hitter, steps out. I imagine they're underway by now, Matt, at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, John, they had a 7:05 start time. I wonder if they got any of this, how far this weather stretches.
A change-up and a swing and a miss. Strike two to Alexis. Castillo tripled and scored. The last run scored in this game back in the 4th inning. There have been no runs scored since the 4th inning, but plenty of hits and plenty of threats and plenty of base runners. The batter spins out of the way, and it's a full count on Alexis Casilla. The outfield plays him extremely shallow as you'll ever see a left fielder in left, Larry Grayson. The payoff pitch from Cordero. Outside, ball 4. The Kernels have a speedster, 28 steals and 30 tries in the Dominican Summer League a year ago, and he may be running, or the Kernels may put on the bunt and run or the hit and run. Yeah, you're right, Matt. A number of our game day staff had to change into dry clothing.
Yeah, they were looking pretty waterlogged out there.
Let's see if Nunez, who has 2 hits, 2 of the 11 Kernel hits, will be bunting a throw to first, and the speedster Casilla back standing up. This is the first of an 8-game homestand. Tomorrow evening, a character from Pokemon, Pikachu, will be here from 5 until 7. There goes the runner. A ground ball to second. Second baseman boots it. Everybody's safe. The third error committed by Clinton. The second by second baseman Micah Furtado. And Matt, there's our bit of baseball that we've been talking a lot about in this game. When runners are in motion, it puts pressure on the defense, and the pressure surfaced as Micah Furtado was so eager to try to get the lead runner, Castillo, that he booted the ground ball.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Furtado slipped a little bit in that wet dirt, too. It did look like he slipped a little bit.
As they show it on the Rockwell Collins game link, it sure did. Now Brandon Wood may be bunting, even though he's 3 for 3 with a walk. He may be bunting here. The skies darken again. A bunt by Brandon Wood, a terrific bunt. The only play for the pitcher is to throw low but out at first base. Listen to this crowd. I'll tell you what, Nat, that sacrifice bunt by Brandon Wood could not have been rolled out in front of the plate any better than he bunted it. And the sacrifice by Wood makes it 2nd and 3rd. 1 out for Bobby Wilson. Bobby trying to give the Kernels a little bit of breathing room, ahead 6-4 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Infield in for the LumberKings. A high drive into left. Grayson way back on the warning track. Has it. Tagging is Casilla. He scores. The throw to third. That runner out. But the Kernels lead it 7-4. Bobby Wilson with his 44th run driven in, his 2nd RBI of this game, makes it 7-4 Kernels.
Now, wait a minute, John. I'm not seeing a run being put on the...
Now, wait a minute. Didn't the runner cross before the throw got to third? I don't don't know if it did. Al Gruwell,
Well,
we need your help.
Hold on now, John. I think that's a double play because he caught it.
It doesn't matter if the batter scores before. Now, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. I'll retract everything I said. I will figure this out with the help of Matt Moss and Al Gruwell. Take a sacrifice fly away from Bobby Wilson. Alexis Casilla, I thought, crossed home plate before that double play was completed, but I'm confused. Bobby Wilson hits into a double play, flying out to left. The throw to third got Felix Nunez, apparently before Casilla crossed the plate, so a double play goes 7-5, and the Kernels do not have a big insurance run that I thought they had.
Well, John, because Larry Greisen caught the ball. Well, I mean, he caught it there in deep left field, and Alexis Casilla, the ball was caught before. Now, if I'm not mistaken, if he had gotten across home plate before the ball was caught, that would have been a run.
No, we'll pick it up, Matt. I'm going to not disagree with you, but we'll figure this out. I thought that if the runner crossed the plate on a sacrifice fly before a throw to get a runner at a base, I thought the run counted. But apparently either it doesn't count or perhaps Casilla did not cross home plate before Nunez was thrown out. We're still waiting for Al Gruwell to come in if he could and help us with the ruling. We're going to keep it right here. No time for a break after that long discussion about the inning-ending double play. David Austin goes one inning, gives up no runs on 2 hits. Austin struck out none, and he walked none. Bob Zimmerman will take over. We'll make up our breaks on the post-game end of things. Bob Zimmerman on the hill. Perhaps, Wayne, perhaps Al Gruwell will have time to come in to set us straight. No, he won't. Al Gruwell will not have time to come in. Andrew Wishy's going to pinch hit here in the 9th inning. I still think that if you hit a ball to an outfielder and the runner from third tags and crosses the plate before a throw retires a runner trying to advance on the same play, I think that run counts. I may be wrong, but let's say that happened. Well, let's say that we know this. Alexis Casilla tagged at third and tried to score on a sacrifice fly to left.
He tagged at third after the ball had been caught.
Yes, so that was the second out. Now Zimmerman delivers a strike to Andrew Wishy, the pinch hitter. Wishy, a left-handed batter.
The second out was made at left field.
Yes,
caught.
And I believe if you tag up and score, it doesn't matter. If you score before, here's a bouncer to second and 1 out in the 9th inning. Matt, I'm going to go ahead and send you in to Al Gruwell because this thing's driving me nuts. Why the Kernels, if the runner crossed home plate before the runner was tagged at third, why the Kernels were not awarded a run. There's 1 out here in the 9th inning as Andrew Wishy chops out to the second baseman, Alexis Casilla. The play went. Now we have an instant. Al Gruwell, I am so confused right now as a strike is called from Bob Zimmerman to Casey Benjamin.
Well, John, the fly ball is for the second out, and the runner did not score before the runner was tagged out at third, which means no run.
Right, but my question is, strike 2, had the runner crossed home plate and then the runner been thrown out at third with the runner crossing home plate before the tag at third, would the run have counted?
Yes, it would, because that's a tag play.
Thank you. Now, did the runner not hustle from third base to home?
In my opinion, no, he did not hustle.
Okay, that's why the Kernels lost the run.
Yeah.
A fella didn't run hard, and I'll tell you what, Bobby Magallanes won't put up with that.
No, it looked like he kind of conceded the fact that he was going to score.
So he trotted home.
A deep fly. I really can't fault the runner from third, though, because I don't see the necessity for the runner to tag from second to third for such a short throw.
Yes, okay.
He was dead.
Al, thank you. I didn't think I was going crazy. What I didn't realize, I don't know how in the world Casilla did not cross home plate before that throw got Nunez. I don't think he was running as hard as he could have.
Well, that's kind of a judgmental deal because he was going to score on that fly ball anyway. There was no doubt about it. He was going to score on it, and the runner
didn't score.
But the runner put him in jeopardy by advancing the second to third when it wasn't necessary for him to do that.
A tap back to Bob Zimmerman, and the second out of the inning is recorded as Zimmerman's trying to save his, I believe, his 14th of the year. Yes, he is. 2 away as Casey Benjamin taps back. Al Gruel, thank you. Let's clarify it again. If Casilla had crossed home plate before Nunez was thrown out 7-5, the run would have counted.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, Al. Matt Moss, thank you so much. And we wanted to give that explanation, Matt, because our listeners deserve that explanation. I still do find a little bit of fault with Alexis Casilla. You've got to sprint home no matter what the situation. Strike one called to Cody Clark. The Kernels 1 out away from a win. And ball 1 inside from Bob Zimmerman.
Well, hopefully this will all become a moot point here.
I hope so. But my goodness, how can you hit a fly ball that deep like Bobby Wilson did, and the runner from third doesn't bust his rear end home, and a double play ends the inning. Now a pitch just low, and it's 2-1 to the right-handed hitter, Cody Clark. Bob Zimmerman trying to notch his team-high 14th save of the year and trying to save it for Nick Touchstone. 2 out, top of the ninth, 6-4 Kernels. Strike 2 called from Bob Zimmerman. Just a wacky, wild, hard-fought game. And listen to the crowd. Listen to the crowd. They're on their feet. Ball 3 outside. A full count now to the right-handed hitter. Oh, brother. It's 6-4 Kernels. And here comes the crowd again on their feet. Zimmerman's payoff pitch. Line drive, base hit into right field. And that's the 11th hit for the Clinton LumberKings. They bring the tying run to the plate here in the top of the ninth inning. 11 hits for Clinton. It's 6-4 Kernels. And Bob Zimmerman with a 3-3 record. Check that, a 4-4 record, a 1.91 ERA. Is on for the team-high 29th time. 13 saves for Bob. He ran the count full and surrendered a line drive single off the bat of Cody Clark over the head of the leaping second baseman Alexi Casilla. And now he has to face Abigail Sandoval. A bouncer, base hit into right, diving try by the second baseman, and Clinton's out hit the Kernels now 12-11. More importantly, the tying runs are on with 2 out. The tying runs are on for the LumberKings with 2 out here in the top of the ninth inning. A pair of 2-out singles by the numbers 8 and 9 hitters off Bob Zimmerman, and now the LumberKings bring in Adam Bourassa, their leadoff batter, out to the mound for the Kernels is pitching coach Eric Bennett. Andrew Wishy started this inning as a pinch hitter for Larry Grayson, and he grounded out to second. Casey Benjamin tapped back to Bob Zimmerman, and then the count went full on Cody Clark, who lashed a single over the head of Alexi Casilla, and then then Abigail Sandoval, the number 9 hitter, bounced one through the hole past the diving second baseman for his 3rd hit. Now Bob Zimmerman will face the go-ahead run in Adam Bourassa, who's 2 for 4. Strike 1 at the knees as Bourassa tried to throw a kink into the delivery of Bob Zimmerman by squaring to bunt. Strike 1 to the left-handed batter. Clinton is out hit us 12-11. Ball 1 is just low. 6-4 Kernels. We're just past the top of the hour now. The action has been crazy all afternoon and evening long. Ball 2 downstairs from Bob Zimmerman, and Matt Moss extends his arms in a, where was that pitch? Motion. It was apparently just a little bit low. The Kernels were within 1 strike of a win moments ago. Now ball three to the batter. I'll be darned, the Kernels were within a strike of a win. Less than 2 minutes ago, this crowd was on its feet in a wild frenzy, but 2 singles by the numbers 8 and 9 hitters, and now 3-1. Barraza will likely be taking. Strike 2 called. Can Bob Zimmerman get it done now? For the third time, the crowd on its feet. 3 balls, 2 strikes to the batter. Zimmerman is set. The delivery. Slice foul. Look out. Over the third base grandstand. The runners, of course, with 2 out and a 3-2 pitch, were on the go. They were on the go. Tyne runs for Clinton at first and second. 2 out, top of the 9th inning. Bob Zimmerman trying to save this one for Nick Touchstone. Bob rubbing up the baseball. He loves these kind of pressure situations. Bob Zimmerman thrives on pressure. Zimmerman nods yes, set below the belt. The runners go, and a base hit into left. A base hit into left to make it a 1-run game. And nobody covering third, and the runner goes to third. First and third, 6-5. 6-5, first and third, 2 out for Micah Furtado.
And you got to wonder why there was nobody at third.
Matt Brown was in the cutoff position, and that allowed the tying run, Sandoval, to go to third. What a job by the LumberKings here in the 9th inning, facing Bob Zimmerman, 3 straight singles. They've out-hit the Kernels 13-11. And now we have to guard against a balk, a wild pitch, a pass ball, a squeeze bunt with 2 outs is a possibility. It's 6-5 Kernels. 3 straight hits by the LumberKings. I don't know, Matt Moss, if this crowd has anything left to give after the Kernels have come within a strike and an out of a victory 3 times, or 2 times now. Oh, brother, hang on to everything now. The LumberKings are within a wild pitch, pass ball, or base hit of tying this game. Strike 1. Hey, Matt, the crowd has more to give. Bob Zimmerman trying desperately to nail down this win. 6-5 Kernels. Left-handed hitting Micah Furtado, 1 for 2, has been hit twice by pitches. Strike 2 called. And now for the third time, the crowd is on its feet. Will the third time be a charm on Independence evening? The entire crowd on its feet. 0-2 to Furtado. The Kernels have to guard against the wild pitch. A foul as the runner from first was going. The runner from first, the go-ahead run, would have been in scoring position. Nobody expected him to be running. The Kernels were going to let him steal second. Micah Furtado fouled one over the screen. 0-2 to Micah Furtado. The LumberKings have out-hit the Kernels 13-11, but the Kernels lead it 6-5. There goes the runner, and now they have a runner hung up between first and second. Zimmerman just holding the ball, and the runner trying to score. Game over! Out! 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 Game over! Game over! Out at the plate! Out at the plate! Game over! 6-5 Kernels! Bob Zimmerman pulled a fast one. He hoodwinked the LumberKings into a loss. The Kernels win it 6-5. Bob Zimmerman running the ball towards second base. Between first and second was the go-ahead run. Adam Barraza, and Barraza trying to get Bob Zimmerman to lose his cool. Bob threw home to the catcher, Bobby Wilson. Bobby withstood the collision with Abigail Sandoval, and out at the plate was Abigail Sandoval, and the play went. The caught stealing went Zimmerman to Wilson, pitcher to catcher, 1-2 to end the game. What a wild, wild finish. As the runner was out at the plate, Bob Zimmerman threw home, and the runner Sandoval was out at the plate to end the game and the ninth inning. 1 run for Clinton in the ninth inning. 3 hits, no Colonel errors, a man caught trying to steal home. Zimmerman held the ball between the mound and second base position and kept holding it. But he was looking out of the corner of his eye, and Matt Moss, right when Abigail Sandoval, the tying run, broke towards home, Bob threw a perfect peg to Bobby Wilson, and I'll give Sandoval his due. He lowered the boom on Bobby Wilson, but Bobby was solid as a rock and held the throw, tagged the runner to end the game.
And you know, John, I was just thinking, I wouldn't be surprised because the previous pitch, it was a fouled tip back here on the third base side, and Alan Barassa, you know, he was running towards second on a steal attempt. And I wouldn't be surprised if Zimmerman knew that they were going to do it again, let him go, because he stepped towards third like he was going to throw it to third base to hold.
Yes, he did.
To hold Sandoval in check, but then rolled around real quick, and next thing you know, Bassar is caught with nowhere to go. So then we kind of had a little standoff here. Who's going to, Bassar was caught. He was basically sitting, he was basically dead meat. And meanwhile, we had Sandoval just kind of seeing what he was going to do. And you knew it was going to come down to him because if you get the out, you lose the game. So he's got to make a break for home at some point.
And he did, and Bob Zimmerman threw it home to preserve the win, his 14th save of the season. It wasn't pretty on the 4th of July. There were a lot of hits, some bad base running, 4 errors committed, 3 by the LumberKings, 1 by the Kernels, but the Kernels hang on and executed that rundown play that Matt just described perfectly for a nail-biting, thrilling 6-5 win. Matt and I will have all the totals and highlights when we return next on the Colonel Curtain Call. 6-5 Kernels. This is Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
Summertime means Kernels Baseball. Sunlight until 9 o'clock. Watermelon and lemonade. Taking the kids to the swimming pool and a host of other leisurely pursuits. Comfort Solutions by Banks stands ready to ensure that your family stays cool when you're busy with all of your summer fun. Comfort Solutions by Banks are your indoor comfort specialists. With all of the fun activities that fill up your summer, it's comforting to know that the Comfort Solutions by Banks family can take care of your family. Comfort Solutions by Banks is proud to offer your family personal and caring service. If something goes unexpectedly wrong with your home's cooling system, you can count on Comfort Solutions by Banks to provide you with courteous and professional service under any circumstance. Enjoy your summer and let the family at Comfort Solutions by Banks take care of yours.
Many of the products we use in our homes still come in glass containers. So what should you do with them when they're empty? Recycle them, of course. Your friends at Solid Waste and Recycling offer these helpful reminders. First, clean and rinse the empty bottles and jars and put the lids in your blue recycling box. Then place the bottles and jars in a rigid container like a small plastic waste basket or bucket and set it next to the recycling box for curbside collection. Save landfill space. Recycle your empty glass containers.
At Zimmerman's, we believe that the voice of the customer speaks the loudest. Let's hear what our customers have to say.
We chose Zimmerman because our family has been buying cars. I guess we're probably the 3rd generation to buy cars here at Zimmerman.
My family's bought 18 cars at Zimmerman's. 18. I ought to get a little bonus or something, wouldn't I?
We build our reputation on one satisfied customer at a time. On behalf of everyone at Zimmerman's, I want to thank you for your business.
Get more online. Now, gotta get things done. That's what it's all about. Yeah, working all day, it's the time to do. It's all you live, it's best for you. We bring the power to you every time. You got the power and we're on for you.
Colonel's Curtain Call, right here on the Zone, ESPN Radio 1600 AM. With a recap of all the action, the State Farm Major League scoreboard, plus a look ahead to the next Colonel's game, let's rejoin the voice of the Colonels, the one, the only John Rogers, here on the Zone, ESPN Radio 1600 AM.
The national pastime is baseball, and 4th of July is red, white, and blue, and everything came together here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium this afternoon and this evening in a wild, uproarious, unpredictable contest, the first of an 8-game homestand on Independence Day and evening. Kernels 6, Clinton 5. 5,025 were on hand to see the Kernels fall behind in the first inning, 1-0, but the Kernels bounced back, got a 2-run double from Blake Balcom after an error was committed by third baseman Casey Benjamin that allowed the Kernels to tie the game in the first, or allowed the Kernels to bring Blake Balcom to the plate. Balcom's 2-run double made it 2-1 Kernels. Then Chris Collins, with the first of his 2 hits, made it 3-1 Kernels. The LumberKings took advantage of a walk and 2 bunts and scored 2 runs in the top of the second to tie the game 3-3. The Kernels scored 2 in the bottom of the third inning, thanks to an error, 1 of 2 made by second baseman Micah Furtado. The Kernels scored 2 runs in the third inning to take a 5-3 lead. The LumberKings bounced back with a run in the fourth inning to make it 5-4. They got a 2-out RBI single by their number 9 hitter Abigail Sandoval. 3 hits by the number 9 hitter for Clinton today, and that made the score 5-4. The last Colonel run scored in this game was in the fourth inning. Alexis Casilla tripled to lead off the fourth against reliever Joldy Watts. With 1 out, Brandon Wood walked, and then Bobby Wilson singled into center to give the Kernels a 6-4 lead. Little did we know that that would be the final run scored until the LumberKings plated a run on 3 straight singles with 2 out in the top of the ninth against Bob Zimmerman, the Colonel closer. The game came to an incredible end with the runners at first and third and 2 out, tying run at third, go-ahead run at first. Zimmerman, out of the corner of his eye, saw Adam Barrasso at first base leading off the bag and breaking for second. Bob stepped off the hill, and with his back to the tying run at third, Abigail Sandoval went running right at Adam Barrasso. I'm having trouble with that name. Adam Barrasso, Bourassa. The action came, for all intents and purposes, to a grinding halt for what seemed an eternity, but was really about 3 seconds. Zimmerman stood staring at the runner between first and second, but all the while, out of the corner of his eye, watching for Abigail Sandoval to make his daring break towards the plate. Once Sandoval did that, Bob Zimmerman turned on a dime, fired a strike to Bobby Wilson, who tagged the runner, the tying runner, out, Abigail Sandoval, to end this crazy, crazy ball game. 6-5 Kernels, 6 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. We left 10. Clinton 5 runs, 13 hits, 3 errors. The LumberKings stranded 5. The winning pitcher, Nick Touchstone, 7 innings. He's now 4-3. The loser, who gave up 5 runs but only 1 earned, was left-hander Brian Mattoon for Clinton. He's now 6-4. Bob Zimmerman saved it, his 14th save of the season, and the crowd was 5,025. Matt Moss and I return. Next up on the Colonel Curtain Call, we'll enjoy our Liberty Bank star play of the game. This is Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
Your home is a powerful asset. Managed wisely, it can help you with home improvements, tuition, and other expenses. Wells Fargo Home Equity Financing is the key. With flexible terms, competitive rates, and affordable payments. Our bankers have the knowledge and resources to help you find the best financing for your needs. Talk with a Wells Fargo banker today and see how home equity financing can help you reach your next stage. Wells Fargo, the next stage, Equal Housing Lender.
Hometown Restyling. For all your remodeling needs, satisfaction is guaranteed. Hometown Restyling specializes in all of your home's interior, exterior needs. Come and visit one of our showrooms, one in Hiawatha, one in Coralville, and see the possibilities. Windows, siding, sunrooms, please call 378-1221. There's no place like home.
Following this 6-5 Kernel victory, kids are not going to be able to run the bases because, Matt, the skies have darkened again.
Very ominous-looking dark clouds.
But hopefully everything will work out in entertainment, so at least 3,000 of this 5,025 who saw the Kernels hang on to beat Clinton 6-5 will stay around for the Freedom Festival fireworks. We want to say hello to a great friend of ours, Phil Andrews, a long time season ticket holder, advertiser from Pekin Insurance. Phil was here enjoying the game from the Kernel suite along with a number of his friends and guests, and Phil was kind enough to wait to say thank you to us. We were having some problems with our transmission for a little bit, and we had to put Phil on dry dock, but it was great for Phil Andrews to stay around and come in and say thank you to us, and we're the ones that need to thank Phil. He's been a long time supporter of Kernel baseball throughout the years, and just a terrific guy. I enjoy not only our business relationship, but a great friendship with Pekin Insurance agent Phil Andrews. Liberty Bank, Iowa's fastest growing community bank, is now proud to present the Liberty Bank Star Play of the Game. Let's go back to the fourth inning. In the bottom of the fourth inning, Alexi Casilla tripled, and he was at third with one out. Bobby Wilson came to the plate for the Kernels. This is our first of two Liberty Bank Star Plays of the Game.
A line drive into center by Bobby Wilson gives the Kernels a 6-4 lead. Stopping at second, Brandon Wood. Bobby Wilson tagged the very first pitch from Joldie Watts, and I mean he ripped it into center field. Bobby with a strong statement to the LumberKings saying, "How dare you walk the man in front of me to get to me?" Bobby Wilson with his 43rd run driven into the year.
Made it 6-4 Kernels in the bottom of the fourth inning. In the top of the fifth, Bobby Wilson was involved in our second Liberty Bank Star Play of the Game. Adam Barraza reached on an infield single, and with one out, Josh Cruiser was at the plate. Here's our second and final Liberty Bank Star Play of the Game.
Let's see if Barraza's running again. He is. And a strike three call, throw to second, double play! Double play!
The Kernels turned 3 double plays this afternoon and this evening, and on the 4th of July win a wild verdict against Clinton 6-5. The Kernels have now beaten the LumberKings 6 out of 9 times on the season. Those are our Liberty Bank Star Plays of the Game. Stand by. We have a full slate of games to report next on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. Broadcast assistant Matt Moss will have those State Farm Major League scores when we return. This is Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
You're in the Zone. Attention sports fans. Iowa's #1 sports announcer is right here on the Zone. For the second year in a row, the Iowa Associated Press has named Scott Unash the best damn play-by-play announcer in the state. Fact is, Scott's dedication to outstanding coverage of area metro sports is unprecedented. The guy eats, sleeps, and breathes local sports. You can catch Scott weekday afternoons at 3 on the 19th hole with Scott Unash, and Saturday mornings at 9 when he hosts the Hy-Vee Coaches Corner. And in addition to great seasonal high school play-by-play, you can hear Scott calling all the hot action of Hawkeye Downs racing on Friday nights. Scott knows sports, and once again, he's AP's top play-by-play announcer of the year. One more reason why you need to keep it in the Zone. ESPN Radio, 1600 AM.
Well, the Kernels hang on to win 6-5, a wild affair. Bob Zimmerman picks up his 15th save, and Nick Touchstone improves his record to 4-3. And now is our final look, or our final segment of the Kernel Curtain Call, the State Farm Major League Scoreboard, brought to you for the 9th consecutive season by State Farm Insurance agents Al Shetler, Gary Schubat, Dale Thompson, and Lanny Peterson. A lot of interleague action today. Almost all of the finals recorded at Turner Field. The Braves beat the Red Sox 10-4. In the Subway Series at Shea Stadium, the Mets beat the Yankees 6-5. At the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, the Reds held on to beat the Tribes 5-4 in 11 innings. At Citizens Bank Park, the Phillies upended the Orioles 5-2. North in a matchup north of the border, the Expos beat the Blue Jays 6-4. At PNC Park, one of those alphabet soup stadiums, the Pirates beat the Brewers 6-2. At Minute Maid Park, in a high-scoring affair, if you're the Rangers, that is, the Rangers beat the Astros 18-3, pounded the Astros at Minute Maid Park. At Busch Stadium, the Cardinals held on in a low-scoring affair to beat the Mariners 2-1. At Coors Field, the Rockies overcame a 7-0 deficit late in the game to beat the Tigers 10-8. In a battle in the Sunshine State, the Marlins upended the Devil Rays 4-3. At Petco Park, the Padres beat the Royals 7-1. At SBC Park, the A's beat the Giants 9-6. At Bank One Ballpark, the Diamondbacks held on against the Twins 6-2. And in action in Chicago, the Cubs hold a 1-0 lead at Wrigley Field against the White Sox in the bottom of the fifth inning. And tonight's nightcap at the Freeway Series, the Dodgers will meet the Angels at Angel Stadium in Anaheim. And that is a complete look, and our final look this evening at the State Farm Major League scoreboard.
Matt Moss, thank you so much for that wrap-up on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. And it's hard to believe that it is raining over the Great America Leasing Building just across the Cedar River. It is raining on the Great America Leasing Building, but it's dry here. The tarp is on, and there is one advantage, Matt, to this thunderstorm-like look. It's going to get darker earlier. Therefore, the Freedom Festival fireworks will start probably before 9:15.
Well, John, I do see a little bit of drip, but we got, I'd say, maybe 2,000 fans. I'm gonna guess 2,000 fans seeking shelter under the concourse and underneath the roof that overhangs here in the press box and the suites area.
And they're waiting for the fireworks from the Freedom Festival. This was a wacky game. We saw a little bit of everything, and the Kernels win it 6-5 to even their second-half record at 5-5. The first of an 8-game homestand. Come on out and join us, won't you, like over 5,000 did for this Independence Day. The number to call again for Kernel tickets, 896-7560. That's 896-7560. Deb Williams, as always, did a great job as our in-studio engineer. Deb is going to take us to Wrigley Field now to join the White Sox and Cubs in the Windy City battle on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. For Kernel Broadcast Assistant Matt Moss, I'm John Rogers. Special thanks again to the Bachman-Chapman family, Dana, Kyle, and their son, Carter, and also to Pekin Insurance agent Phil Andrews for being our guest here this evening. 6-5 Kernels, enjoy the Freedom Festival fireworks. 6:40 dugout interview time tomorrow evening. So long, and you've been listening to Kernel Baseball on The Zone.
This has been a special sports presentation from The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, Cedar Rapids. Now back to our regularly scheduled ESPN programming already in progress.